burning up, now the sun gone down. Lights in the distance, a forgotten town. Now I'm on my way, oh I'm on my way. So stand on the edge of the world with me.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Indy 100, brought to you by Motorfocus. My name's Robert Hazeldine from Doadrift Esports, and I will hand you over now to our commentator, Zach Caban.
Good evening, Robert, and hi, everybody. Good evening to those of you tuning in New Zealand, right around Australia. Good afternoon to those of you tuning in WA and Asia. And, of course, far-flung parts of the globe. Of course, a very good morning to those of you tuning in South Africa and the United States, Europe, South America, and all other parts of the world. I think we've covered most of the basis there. This is the Motorfocus Indy 250, of course. 250 miles, 100 laps. We can call it the Motorfocus 100. We can call it the Motorfocus 250. Either one gets us to the number that we need to achieve tonight. And, of course, it's a half length of what we would have been doing the last Monday morning had all gone to plan, of course, for the real world stuff, for the IndyCar series. Of course, the proper dance, the Indianapolis 500, has been postponed until August 23, but we still get to finish the mad month of May with the taste of oval racing. And for a lot of these drivers that are competing here tonight, not a huge amount of experience on ovals. A lot of them quite excited by the concept and the challenge that lay ahead over the next few hours. Zach Caban in commentary with you. We're going to let Nick focus on the task of racing tonight. He'll check in with us during caution periods. However, our in-race reporter tonight will be Paul Nichols, and I'm delighted to have Nico with us straight off the top here, mate. How's practice going for you so far?
Well, you say in-race reporter. I might be out of the race quite early with my pace at the moment, so I'm certainly well off the pace. I don't do a lot of oval racing, but I think I might just, I mightn't qualify. I'll just sit at the back. I think there'll be lots of mayhem up front. It's Nick's birthday party. I'm sure everyone's had a couple of sherbets, so it should be fun.
Well, that's exactly right. I've literally got no vodka in the house, so it's just straight lemonade for me at the moment, but we might upgrade to something stronger in the post-race show. Huge field, huge interest for this one, of course. We're in the closing stages of practice here. It's a 70-minute practice session all in for these drivers. They'll then go out and do a 2-lap sole qualifying, 10-minute session there. Of course, sole qualifying tradition at Indianapolis, as we know, and it's worked well for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club over the last couple of weeks in respective events where we've had big fields. Daytona on Monday night for the GTs was just an example of all of that, and of course Oran Park for the production cars too. So sole qualifying coming up shortly. Times will be coming in thick and fast, don't worry about that. And speaking of times, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the conversion chart here courtesy of our good mate Nick. I'll read some numbers out to you here. John O'Hill is the fastest in practice at the moment with the 40.384, and all the way down the order, and I have to say there are a lot of cars here, all the way down to Nico, who's the last of the cars at the moment, 41.525. I shouldn't laugh when I say that.
I like turning right as well instead of left.
Well, this is true too. And there has been quite a bit of carnage in practice here as well. We'll get to that in a moment, but less than 1.2 seconds separates the field. Now, to put it into a mile-an-hour ratio for you, because that's what Indianapolis is all about, that fastest time there, 40.384, is around 223.325 miles an hour. They are motoring here tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is going to be on for young and old tonight, and we're looking forward to bringing you all the action right here Doadrift Esports. As we say, 100-lap race, 250 miles, so that's just on 402.25 kilometres for those of you that are, like me, very metric-based around Australia particularly. But for the sake of tradition, we're going to stick with miles, of course. We'll have a chat to Nick during the race here. It seemed appropriate, Paul, that for a 100-lap, 250-mile race, half the length of the 500, qualifying half the length as well, just the 2 laps.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, very hard to do an open qualifying in these cars. Obviously, draft is so important around here. So I think I'm going to stick at the back, and I'll just hopefully pick up a few spots. And I don't think I'll actually qualify. I think even if I did qualify, I'll probably still be at the back. So I'll just churn. What does Nick say? Churn from the stern.
Burn from the stern. Yeah, exactly right.
Correct.
Hey, quickly talk to me, because we've got cars going every which way here at the moment, coming out of pit lane for one last run in practice here. The talk between the drivers leading into this race, there seems to be, from the club standpoint, yes, this is a bit of fun. Yes, this is a hit and giggle sort of hit out, but we want it to be more giggle than hit, judging by the talk that's been going on pre-race in terms of driver etiquette, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke to Nick earlier on tonight, just saying there's a lot of drivers here that probably haven't done a lot of oval racing, like myself. But I understand the etiquette. You either keep the low line or the high line. You don't have to have full throttle the whole way around. Obviously, if you're drafter, you can kind of back off the throttle a bit to save some fuel. So hopefully everyone gets that, but I doubt it.
38 qualifiers, 38 entrants so far. We may hit that number shortly. We've got a couple of drivers that might think about joining last minute. That has happened in the past. However, I think we're all pretty set at the moment. We will at least have 37 starters. I'm sorry to disappoint traditionalists out there. iRacing doesn't allow us to do the 3x3 start. I'm as disappointed as anybody else about that. However, from what Paul just said, and from the entertainment spectacle of the race going 100 laps, it's probably a good thing that we're not trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. We don't want to take 20 cars out in the opening lap. So a lot of these drivers that we talk to or we talk about during the night will be familiar to you. There will be some names there that are new to both of us, you, the viewers, and me, the commentator, as the night goes on here. Nick is third fastest at the moment. It's just 400ths of a second separating him and John O'Hill. Brady McHugh sandwiched in between at the moment. So Nick's looking at inside second row for if he can carry this pace from practice over into qualifying. But qualifying is going to be a completely different kettle of fish, Paul, because it's a lone qualifying session, so no draft to rely on. It's purely going to be about driver speed, and that could be a big talking point here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was basing my laps on, so I could be up the front. No, I won't be.
I was going to say, trouble here, 2 cars into the wall. It's going to be a bit like that throughout the course of the night. There was also talk, obviously, 2 things that we should tackle right off the top here. This is a non-championship event. This is a hit out. This is what Nick wanted to do for his birthday bash. Of course, the checkered flag flying at the moment. Practice is complete. His birthday, of course, was just on a fortnight ago, Monday, the 18th of May. We've got a nice event here for him to hold at the end of the month. Despite the fact that there's no bragging rights on the line here, essentially, there's still a little bit of prize money up for grabs, and obviously, egos are on the line.
Bragging rights, yeah, for sure.
We're not racing for sheep stations. We're just racing for bragging rights, folks.
A couple of racing dollars up for grabs, I believe. So thanks to our sponsors for tonight.
We'll get Nick to confirm all of that for us during our first caution. Of course, a big thanks to Motorfocus for coming on board to sponsor the event. I believe they've got a couple of prizes to give out at the end of the night as well. Now, line qualifying underway here, folks. So there's going to be a lot happening on your screen here. You'll see respective drivers cutting laps, and we'll try and keep you updated with who's clocking what times and miles an hour average and all that sort of stuff throughout the course of this next 10 minutes or so. It is a 10-minute quali session. That's it. The race scheduled to be 100 laps or time certain, would you believe it, at 2 hours and 40 minutes. Given that the fastest Indy 500 is around 2 hours, 40 minutes, I don't think we'll need that long. I don't think we'll be here for that entire amount of time. But we will stick around post-race and have a chat with all these guys and get their views on the oval racing and the IndyCar. They are running the, you might have noticed already, folks, they're running the 2011 Dallara IndyCar tonight. That was Nick's choice, not the
I think it's
newer
the
model.
09, Zach, actually.
Oh, the 09, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
just
the
having a
legacy
look.
car.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. The car that I'm reading on the info from iRacing, that's what's led me astray there because it says Dallara IndyCar Circuit 2011. So, but the setup is identical to baseline.
Yep.
Have a look at the weather as well. We're having a look at this now.
I've got 31 degrees track temp, so it's quite warm.
31 track temp and 18 degrees ambient, which is cold for Indianapolis in May, of course, on the precipice of summer. But that's all good and well. The Dayton track time is set to the 15th of May at 7 minutes to 5 local time at the moment. So keep an eye on that because we're racing into the sunset. I say that, but Indianapolis late sunsets at that time of year, so we shouldn't be any danger of heading into the twilight, which is probably a good thing for all these Indy cars. They don't have any headlights. Maximum grid capacity of 55 cars for this. Pace car speed will be set to, I'm going to talk kilometres an hour for a moment, 121 kilometres an hour, and pit lane speed will be 97 kilometres an hour. Penalty count will be to 30 on the first incident and then 10 penalty points after that. And the incident counter for DQ limit, interesting to note this because this is the first time that we've seen this, is 50. So that's obviously something that I'll have to have a chat to Nick about and see why we've got a DQ limit tonight because we don't normally do. However, there will be 3 fast repair limits to the competitors tonight, and judging by what we've seen in practice thus far, they're going to need them. The car that was just heading into the pits there, I didn't catch a number, but you might have noticed the livery. It's a little bit of a hark back to Team Australia days, of course, from Will Power and his champ car and then IndyCar Exploit.
I think Peter Matson has a special livery on for the birthday, so I think he's put together a livery with some mention to Nico Pop. So if you have a look at that, Rob.
I was hoping someone would. That's fantastic. Now, Adam Lavis is in the pit lane at the moment. Paul Jansen's out there cutting a lap. So too Ross Conlon. Nick's out there. Oh, Nick's gone with the old hark back to the Team Penske days. Gil De Ferro and Helio Castroneves, that sort of stuff with the Marlboro-inspired red and white livery. That's good.
Just a shout out to any of the guys that are new to iracing. Download Trading Paints, and you can download these liveries. Obviously, it's free of charge. It's good to you jump in there and download a livery that if you go to a certain event, you can throw something. Also, paint your own liveries as well. So check out Trading Paints.
Yeah, I've just got Pete Madsen on screen here now, and he's sporting a blue, pink, and green livery. If that's correct, unless my Trading Paints is still trying to update itself.
It may do. I'm pretty sure he did a special one, so it might take a little while to download. Each of the liveries is about 4 meg, so we've got 40 cars on track, so it'll take a while to download all of them.
So we'll follow that with interest. I'm doing my best to stay across it on both screens at the moment, folks. Time's coming in from the Speedway. And look at this. Trent Lavis at the moment has the fastest time, 40.508. So on our comparison total here, that's, of course, around 222. Oh, this is a beautiful number, this, for cricket fans. 222.222 miles per hour. Richie Beno, eat your heart out. Miss the great man. How good
absolutely.
Was so 222.222. I love that. If Trent doesn't clock a faster lap, if no one clocks a faster lap all night, that's the stat right there. 222.22 miles an hour. Just behind him is Joe Baldwin, less than 3/10 of a second. Sorry, 300ths of a second separating them at the moment. In fact, 400ths of a second separates the top 4, with Cal Watmore 1,000th of a second faster than the 58, of course, of Gary Cousins. Jake Ward is 5th. Nico Pop, of course, 6th. Jono Hill, Brady McHugh, Pete Matson, and Pete Dunham, the top 10 there. So, most of those names you've heard before. Maybe not Jake Ward. He's a new one to our audience here on Doadrift Esports, but in for the fun of the fair for what will be a big night here. Looking through the field, Paul, I know you've got access to it as well as I do.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone there take your fancy that we don't normally talk about in our Doadrift Esports coverage?
Oh, wow. Jake Ward, I don't know if I've heard of it. Jake's raced with us before. I'm not too sure. He might have just joined tonight, actually. No, he did send me a message tonight wanting to join. So that's really good. He's up in, where is he, P5?
Yeah.
Ryan Hucknall or Huckle, I think it is, Ryan. I haven't heard of Ryan before. So a
Yep.
couple of new members, which is great. Ross Conlon, I think it is, Conlon.
Yep.
And new as well. I haven't heard that name before. So, yeah, a couple of new guys in here, which is great.
Absolutely. The more the merrier, particularly when it comes to Indianapolis. Now, having a look at this, we've had a couple of late stragglers come in and join us as well. Michael Porter's the 36th and final qualifier, but there are 5 people that haven't, including yourself, logged a qualifying time here. We didn't get a chance to chat to Nick. He was in the chat room for about 3 seconds, and then he's jumped back out again, but we'll have a chat to him during the first caution. There's also something to run by you, ladies and gentlemen, with regards to the caution periods here tonight. Final stages of qualifying, of course. We are still about 3 minutes away from race start. No action on track at the moment. Looks as though everyone's gone out and clocked a lap, which is really, really good. Josh Millard, Paul Gerlin, yourself, Nico, Kester Ward, and Jason Lee. Jason Lee not clocking a practice time, might just be coming in for the race itself, like you burning from the stern. Was there one car that I've run through there that's not going to actually start?
I think Josh unfortunately had a steering wheel issue, so he will not start, I'd say.
Okay, quite disappointing if that is the case.
Yeah.
But if not, that's 41 at worst. At best. At worst, 40 starters for this race, over 100 laps. The Motorfocus 100 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, virtually racing at the Brickyard, and what a place it is, steeped in history, one of the most famous motorsport venues in the world, and of course, quite often the scene of the highest attended single-day sporting event annually with the Indianapolis 500. And also, of course, in the past, it's hosted the US round of the Formula One World Championship, US or Indianapolis round specifically of the World Motorcycle Championship. It's played host to sport car racing. It's doing that again later in the year. It's hosted Indy Lights. It's hosted, just name just about any category you can. Obviously, the Brickyard 400 for the stock cars for the NASCAR Cup Series as well. There's something for everyone when it comes to the Speedway. And the fact that, like a lot of the ovals over there, Nico, they've actually been able to put an infield racetrack together that's added appeal to it for sports car racing, for Formula One and MotoGP in the past as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an awesome racetrack. I don't do a lot of oval racing, as I said earlier, but certainly the infield's amazing for GT racing. And love this track. Steeped in history. Looking forward to tonight. Try and stay out of trouble and maybe pick up a few spots. We'll see how we go.
We'll do our best to leave you alone for the first handful of laps and see how you go, mate. No worries about that. And from my standpoint, I have to say I agree with Nico. I'm not the biggest oval racing person. I'll watch the restrictor plate races for the stock cars. I'll watch the Indy 500 because it's the Indy 500. But I find it a little bit harder to get into just the other ovals that are a part of the stock car series, particularly the NASCARs. But IndyCar I find a lot easier to get into because they have a mixture of road, street and oval circuits, with the ovals actually being less. But the ovals they do race on deliver some great entertainment, of course, particularly the Texas Motor Speedway, and that's where they actually start their championship next Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Don't miss that. That'll be fantastic fun. I'd forgotten about that until just now. Hey, if you're tuning in throughout the night, I'm going to bring up the live stream here, the Doadrift Esports stream on my laptop that's sitting on my right-hand side here. If you want to watch along on Facebook or Twitch, you can do so, of course. Subscribe to the Twitch channel, like the Facebook page, Doadrift Esports. Let us know where you're watching from, who your tip is for tonight. We'll run through the grid for you right now because they're about to set off on the formation lap here. 100 laps the journey, ladies and gentlemen. And it's Trent Lavis and Joe Baldwin sharing the front row of the grid. 40.508, 222.222 miles per hour. I'm going to say it all night. That's fantastic.
Get in there, Richie.
Joe Baldwin starts alongside Trent Lavis, Cal Watmore, and of course Gary Cousins starting on the second row. Jake Ward, Nico Pop, third row. Jono Hill and Brady McHugh, fourth row. Pete Matson and Pete Dunham, the fifth row. The sixth row, a reminder, of course, don't get up me about it, folks. Get up iRacing. They're the ones you should be charging for the rent here because it's not my decision to start 2x2. I would have preferred 3x3, but iRacing doesn't do it. It's not us, okay? Don't take it out on us. Sixth row, Ryan Huckle and Grant Gill. Seventh row, Adam Lavis. And Dave T, I'm going to have to chase up the surname there in the 5.
Trevanton.
Thank you. Jonathan Turner and Cohen Addard are from the 8th row. Jared Daly and Ross Coleman from the 9th row. Dennis Hancock and Brendan Jones, the 10th row. Outside that, you've got Josh Thomas and Julia Muckey on the 11th row. On the 12th row, it's Brent Selby Wood and Andre Courts. I believe I've got that right. If I haven't, they can let me know. Matt West is from 25th alongside Paul Jensen, Trevor Stott and Daniel Ford, the 14th row. Brett Cooper and Wayne Losh, the 15th row. Behind them, Matty Muscord. Then Matthew George, that is. Pete Davison, Jamie Kingscott, Chris Kisby, Michael Porter, Paul Nichols, Jason Lee, Paul Gerlin and Kester Ward, with Josh Millard in 41st, but we do believe that he will be a non-starter here. So 40 starters for this one at the Brickyard tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's very rare that we get to broadcast oval racing on Doadrift Esports. We're delighted to have your company for this. And, well, you'll be surprised at how quickly, 40 seconds a lap, so what's that, give or take 2 minutes for every 3 laps. You'll be surprised at how quickly this goes. There is some protocols regarding the caution period. We believe that it's going to have the same rules applied to it as the stock car races, where there'll be no caution thrown in the last 10 laps. I also believe that the admin in charge of this race from the Gentlemen's Racing Club standpoint will be in charge of throwing the caution flag, not the iRacing official inner sanctum itself. And from what Nick was saying to me earlier in the day, it looks like it'll be a 2-stop strategy. Pit window somewhere between 30 to 35 laps. There'll be a little bit of fuel conservation obviously going on under the caution periods, but we do believe that it'll be a 2-stop affair, maybe a 3rd if needs be. And of course, we've already run you through everything else that's going on here throughout the course of the evening. With respect to, I should say, the reset limits. The caution truck, the course car, pulls to the pits. It's Trent Lavis. And it's, of course, Joe Baldwin bringing us to the green flag. It waves and we're underway. The Motorfocus 100. Look at the side of Indianapolis. There's 40 of them spring towards the first corner. Lavis leads us through. We're clean so far from what I've seen. Turn 2 tells the story. Cars screaming down the back straight for the first time. Trouble at the back. We've had one car go off to the infield at turn 2 there. But we're clean so far. Lavis leads. Converted the start beautifully. 1 down, 99 to go at the Brickyard. Of course, it's only 2 years since our own Will Power took the checkered flag here. Tonight, one of our drivers. Oh, big one on the main straight. Huge trouble here. 3 cars flipping and rolling. Is that you, Zach?
Yeah.
I saw the orange and I remember you telling us that you were running orange. So, oh no.
The car in front of me just spun in front, so I couldn't avoid it. Anyway, that's all good. I might just commentate now.
Paul Nichols joining us in expert commentary throughout the night, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, taking the role normally held by Nick, of course.
That was quite scary. Like, I mean, if you're doing VR in Motion Week, that would have been quite scary.
Oh, that would have been, absolutely. There were cars flying into the pit lane there. I'm really surprised that didn't trigger our first caution, actually. Cal Watmore's made a good start, jumped up into his second spot, Joe Baldwin, and then, of course, Gary Cousins, Brady McHugh, the top 5 here at the moment. And I'm just working with the fact that trading paint's not quite working for me at the moment, along with the images coming in on the Doadrift stream here. So if I make a mistake at some point, folks, you'll know what's going on. They come back round onto the main straight once more. Another lap in the books. Lap 4 of 100 now. What a sight that is. Already 4 cars in the lane and one just rejoined the circuit. There's been a fair bit of trouble there thus far. You can see it on the right-hand side. Let's have a look, actually. We know Paul was involved. Looks like Wayne Losh was dropped. Start. Matty Mascord, Michael Porter, Matt West is already a lap down. Everyone else is 2 laps down. Brendan Jones a lap down. Kester Ward a lap down. So already lap traffic going to be a factor in the Indy 100 for Motorfocus.
Already have Trent Laves and Cal Watmore. I've heard those names before, Zach. I'm not sure where they're from. But...
They're doing a good job at the moment. As I say, it's always a treat to watch racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was only 2 years ago that we were all cheering on Will Power. Caution flag thrown. We have our first caution of the race. Trent Lavis will bring the field under control, and the caution truck will head out onto the circuit here. So I'll just do my best to get trading paints working at this end while we're under caution for the first time. That was a hairy first 5 laps or so.
That was, yeah. If you go Control R, Zach.
Yep.
And it reloads trading paint.
Okay, cool. We'll see how we go. Yeah, there we go. Now it's gone from iRacing running to downloading. I didn't know that was. Yeah, we should have everything coming up shortly here. So it is lap. They're just coming across the line to complete. And Trent Lavis is in a lot more second. The end of it's always an honour to watch watch a race in Indianapolis. It is even more drivers have that virtual experience of racing at the Brickyard. This will be something that they won't forget, and those of you watching along, tuning in on board here with your right through to the checkered flag and beyond, post race here at Indianapolis. Now what I haven't confirmed either, folks, and I'll try and do that, as you see on the right hand side of your screen, what I'll try between now and the end of 100 laps is confirm what milk everyone's going to have if they win post-race here tonight. Of course, we keep the long-standing tradition of Indianapolis going with all of that. And there you can see cars parked on the infield section of the road course portion of the circuit. Good crowd in, as per usual.
It's huge, isn't it? Not much social distancing going on there.
No, and rightly so. A little bit overrated, that social distancing, apparently, according to the Yanks. If you look at
exactly.
Coming out of the, oh dear, I'm not even
done a great job, haven't they?
I'm not even going to start on what's been going on over there over the last 24 hours. They reap what they sow. They voted the president in. Let's continue on, though, and good morning to anyone that may be tuning in from the United States at this point in time. We apologise if we offend you along the way.
Love the people, not the president.
Yes. Trent Lavis, Cal Watmore, Joe Baldwin, Brady McHugh and Gary Cousins were the top 5 on the previous time around. A few drivers opting to take some fuel and tyres early here, just chop themselves up. Early days, Paul, probably a good choice, probably a good call to make to come in and just get that little top up, because when we get to the back end, if it becomes a fuel race, you're going to be winning that race, aren't you?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be more than a 2-stopper and definitely more than a 1 safety car. There's going to be more safety cars, yes. I'd say. So if you top up now, you have an advantage. Obviously, you don't need to stop as often later on. So definitely a 2-stopper. If you top up now, you still probably have to do 2 stops, but your last fuel stop's going to be a lot shorter.
Yeah, exactly. And if you get a safety car around that lap 85, 86 mark, you're going to be in good stead. There's no doubt about that. Is what I was saying earlier, no cautions in the last 10 laps. That was a decision made by Nick earlier in the day.
Look, I haven't spoken to Nick about his regulations for this race, but I'm sure he's got it sorted. So
Kester Ward was waved around past the safety car, so he'll get himself back onto the lead lap. Already several drivers, in fact, everyone outside the top 30 now, including Kester, until he comes back round to the tail of the field, running at least a lap down, which is not a great start of the night. Julia Marquis has been waved around the pace car. Matty Mascord is manually disconnected, so there's a retirement for you. And of course, Paul Nichols is already joining us in expert commentary.
They've gained a spot. I haven't retired yet. So.
Well, yeah, this is very true. So, so you're 4 laps down according to my time sheet. But if you get back out there, Nico, you'll be able to just claw a couple of spots back. Might redeem the result.
As I spoke to you about earlier, this is not my forte. Don't do a lot of oval racing. Yeah, look, I enjoy the spectacle, but certainly don't have the time to put into it.
For sure. No, it's a refined art and craft. There's no doubt about. All right, Trading Paints is updated. I've now got a proper feel of what's going on at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, folks. Good to have you with us.
Trent Lay's livery, kind of the shiny green chrome effect on the car. Looks very nice.
Terrific look, isn't it? And Cal Watmore also sitting behind him, of course. Watmore victorious on Friday night in our stock car racing from Phillip Island in an absolute classic with Glenn Poss of late. Trent Lavis, he amuses me as a racing driver, as a sim driver anyway, because you talk to him week in, week out, and he's like, yeah, we're not going to worry too much about practice. We're just going to get going, get stuck into it. I don't think he's taken the same approach to tonight because everyone's, learning the oval and learning the IndyCar. But it'll be interesting to see how that mentality and that mantra of his pays off or not in the long run here tonight. One lap to green. So we've got the wave around. Aerial shots coming in from Indianapolis. Doadrift Esports live across Facebook Live and Twitch as well. Nice to have you along for the journey. Just have to have a look here. Chris Stark asking if any favourites have been taken out already. Well, Paul Nichols, he's out. No, not from what I can tell. Not from what I can tell, Chris. We've still got all our favourites there. Green flag and racing again here at Indianapolis. Trent Lavis, Cal Watmore. Already pressure from behind. Brady McHugh and also Joe Baldwin in there as well. Now, Julian Muckey's showing as our race leader, but I don't think that's right because he was a lap down. Field heading into turn one. Trouble! Car in the wall and bouncing back into the road at turn one. So we'll see who that was in just a moment. Rest of the field did a pretty good job of it getting through. But already drama off the restart, and we somewhat expected that. Round onto the main straight. This will be lap 9 in the books. So we're at the 10% distance of the race here right now. And we've already had 2 or 3 cars find trouble off the restart, hitting the wall. And you were talking earlier about driver etiquette, Paul. Not a lot of brake slamming going on here at the moment. A few drivers bouncing back into the way of the oncoming traffic.
Always an issue here. If you hit the wall, it's very hard to control the car. So you really become a bit of a passenger after you hit the wall here. So
yes.
You can't really blame the driver for coming back out on track. And it's one of those things you got to avoid.
Indeed. Now, we hope you're enjoying all the action that we're bringing from Indianapolis tonight, folks. If you have a look on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the scrolling running order. Top 10 stays there. The rest of the field will scroll through for you every 10 or 15 seconds. Yeah, courtesy of Doadrift Esports. And I know Rob's working on ever improving the graphic package that you see there. And we hope you enjoy the presentation regardless throughout the course of the evening. Look at this battle. Trent Lavis, Cal Watmore, Joe Baldwin in behind them. A 3-way fight at the top as they head down the main straight. Another lap in the books here at Indianapolis. Field had settled itself down off the restart here. A couple of cars rejoining the race. And now on the main straight, if our director can have a look there, we've got trouble on the main straight at this point in time. Big one, big shunt. Can't quite tell who it was, but you can see a car looking very much worse for wear there, and whether that will trigger a caution or not, I'm not entirely sure. So the leaders are coming back around past that now. And there's no caution yet. The car's still in the middle of the racetrack, and now it removes itself. The fast reset. It's coming in very handy for a lot of drivers early on here, but you don't want to use all of those. You don't want them to evaporate in the first half. You might need one in the closing stage of the race, and that could really change the shape of the outcome here. We've got 2 cars coming together in turn 1 as well. There have been crashes everywhere tonight already, and we are less than a quarter race distance. Lap 13 of 100 here. Three-way fight further back in the pack. Around onto the main straight they come. Just enjoy the onboard views and the sounds of the Indy cars doing what they do around Indianapolis for a moment here, folks. This is great. Riding on board with Jonathan Turner at the moment. He's chasing Josh Thomas. Ross Conlon in behind him. Really good fight here. Ryan Huckles there as well in that fight. Oh, trouble at the back there, just off screen. Now, you saw it beginning to unfold. Jeez, there's been a little bit of drama in the opening 15 laps here. No shortage of stories to tell already. Trent Lavis leads this race. Carl Watmore second. Trouble on the backstretch now as well. Oh dear. Now I'm not sure whether that was backmarker traffic or whether that was our race leaders. I couldn't quite pick them up as they were going through. Round onto the main straight, another lap in the books.
Yeah, they're still going from my screen.
So the leaders,
yep,
the leaders have come back through, so we can confirm that. Trent Lavis, Carl Watmore, Joe Baldwin.
Great in-car shot.
Magnificent in-car shot. In fact, that's one of the good things. That's one of the things that iRacing does better than any simulator experience you'll ever see, or gaming experience you'll ever have, ladies and gentlemen. The onboard shots, the aerial shots, just the variety of camera angles that you wouldn't normally get in the real world. It's phenomenal, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'd say, credit to iRacing. It's a simulator. It's not a game, as we keep saying to people. I've heard some comments on Facebook recently, people saying, I used to race Forza and Gran Turismo and just jumped into iRacing because I saw it on esports, the Supercar esports, and they've just gone, oh my God, this is amazing. How come I didn't hear about this earlier?
Yep. No, I'll agree with that. And all the drivers within the Gentleman Sim Racing Club can't speak highly enough of it either. As we head across the back straight now, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway delivering a cracking race so far. We're only 20 minutes into the night too. It's going to be a long night if we get any more cautions. But so far, so good. Even though we have had, and that's the thing too, I think this is of course Nick's birthday bash that we're talking about here, the Motorfocus 100. And one of the things that Nick messaged us earlier in the day in terms of things to take note of was, look, I want the admin of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club to take control of when the cautions are thrown. There's a car spinning around now, because if iRacing was doing it automatically, we'd have cautions for every single incident, and every lap of race would be run under the cautions. So
yeah, absolutely.
To have that control is a good thing, and to have people that are willing to give up their time on a Sunday night to control that for us so that we do get more green running. Paul, we must be very grateful of the support from club members left, right and centre.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've spoken about previously, Zach, and the club's all about creating a good experience for people who want to join, and we try to make it as realistic as possible. Yes, we know it's a simulator, but we've got a lot of members that put time into making the back end of the club, and doing these type of race control situations is important for the drivers. So, I take time out. Everyone takes time out occasionally to do race control and actually really enjoy it. It's a fun thing to do.
Indeed, it is. Let's keep an eye on this battle at the head of the field, though, folks. We've returned our attention to Lavis, Watmore and Baldwin. This is a cracking scrap. They have not been separated by much from the outset. And slipstreaming has been key so far to keeping them this tight. But we normally see a few more overtaking manoeuvres in the real world, I guess, when we're talking about the Indy 500. But Watmore and Baldwin just waiting for their moment, just waiting patiently. And as we've all learnt throughout the COVID crisis, patience is a virtue.
Yeah, absolutely. They're probably all doing an overtaking move now, actually.
There we go. Watmore around the outside. Baldwin follows. Looks as though Lavis just said, "Go through, boys. I'll suck your air for a little while if you'll pardon the expression."
The fuel saving that would have done behind.
Exactly.
Behind Trent would have been, that's critical. Trent's probably going to jump behind and save some fuel and just, be patient. It's a long race.
Yep. First lead change of the 250. It's Watmore. It's Baldwin, it's Lavis, and in giving them the wave around, if you like, he's lost a lot of time there, has Trent Lavis. So hopefully he'll be able to make that back up. Does Baldwin have a crack on Watmore going into turn one? No, he doesn't. Watmore tucks back in. Leads the field through. 0.4 of a second now separate that top three. Lavis closing back up on Baldwin as they come through to turn two. This will be a psychological thing as well, not just fuel saving, because we like to talk about fuel saving for one aspect of this race, but also Trent's new to oval racing. Oh, Baldwin's bang into the wall. Would you believe that? And it's been going so well for him. And there's the 33 in the wall as well. So we've had two cars behind the wall.
The understeer under aero wash, but notice that during practice, you get right up behind a car, you lose the front end.
Indeed you do. And Watmore and Lavis are now first and second. Lavis has inherited second there with Baldwin coming unstuck. He'll be in the lane very shortly. Will remain green, which is surprising, considering there was one car parked on the wall right on the pit entry. So we remain green in the once across the back straight we go. What I was about to say, Paul, before Joe Baldwin just ruined the shot for me, one of the other things for Trent will be, yes, I'm leading, yes, the boys are following me, yes, everyone's being patient and waiting to make moves later in the race. There's a caution flag thrown now. So our second caution of the race is thrown. It's lap 23. Of the Indianapolis 250 for Motorfocus, the Motorfocus 100, of course, Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, Sunday Night Motorsport. It's a rare treat for you, we know. Maybe we'll do more of it further down the track. But it would have also been, let's see if I can learn something from these guys, because we're all learning the oval tracks together. We're talking about Lavis, this is.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't know what Trent's background is oval racing, but I think he's got one of those abilities to jump in any car and just turn his hand at it. So, I mean, we've noticed that I'm sure he's jumped in a couple of the bracket car races and GT series. He's certainly quick anywhere you put him.
So, we've got our second caution of the night. We might have to try and drag Nick in for an in-race chat very shortly.
Yeah, I'll see if I can do that. Hang on.
And just see how things are faring for him at this point in time. Like 25, so quarter race distance. So what's that? 62.5 mile covered right here, right now. Cal Watmore leads the race from Trent Lavis, and our in-race reporter is in the house. And how are things faring for you so far, Nick? You were in the top half of my leaderboard, but I'm having to scroll down a little bit further to find you now. What's going on?
Someone bounced off a wall and I was the next thing they hit.
Yeah.
I know the feeling, mate.
Yeah, Paul had that happen on lap one.
Lap 1 or 2, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Sorry, I'm just trying to get all the field bunched up and let some people back on the lead lap here.
All right, do you want to jump back out or you're right here?
Keep talking, I'm happy to stay here.
okay, right. Yeah, we'd like to chat to you because the qualifying pace was electric, mate. Barely a second covering the whole field, just a little bit more, I guess. I think it was 1.2 seconds. And the race pace has been electric, but no shortage of carnage. And that's brought about by, I guess, incidents happening around you, incidents happening behind you, and also a lot of these guys learning ovals as they go.
It's all happening, sorry. Trying to right-click on people and let them wave around and stuff. So there was only 11 cars on the lead lap just as that got thrown too. So it's already been an endurance race. We haven't even got to the first pit stop when I think the leaders just pitted in as well.
A lot of, Lavis is in. It looks like Watmore's in as well. A lot of cars coming down pit lane. You can see it on your screen there. Pit lane, a very busy hub of activity at the moment. Lap 25, you're right, it's not in the pit window. Pit window's about 30 to 35, somewhere around there. But this comes back to what we were saying. It's a game of strategy. It's about topping the fuel and putting the fresh tyres on where you can, when you can, in the hope that when you get to the back end of the race, that lap 80 to 100 window, that a lot of that will go caution-free according to the regulations. The last 10 laps are caution-free. It could just be the difference between being in the race or having to make a splash and dash in that last 10 laps, and that's something no one wants to have to do.
Exactly.
And can you redeem it from here, mate, being 5 laps down, or are you just out there to salvage a result now?
We'll see how many pace cars there are.
Yeah. I just get the feeling, Paul, that there might be a couple more thrown when there's just 1 or 2 car incidents rather than 3 or 4 now, just so that Nick can keep getting the wave around. We'll wait and see, though. A lot of cars are lapped down so early on in the race, and that comes with the high attrition of incidents and the lack of cautions, as Nick has pointed out. Let's have a look at actually down the order. John O'Hill's the first car lapped down. He's down in position 18. Brendan Jones, Jake Ward, bad run for Jake. He started 5th. He's down in 20th. Then, of course, the 5-2-1 of Dave. He's sitting there in 21st. Michael Porter, Jared Daly, Wayne Losh, they're all down there. Daniel Ford's down in 28th. Chris Kisby, Josh Thomas, Pete Dunham. Then, of course, Nick 4 laps down now. Not the ideal start for him. It's been a very frustrating night for some of these competitors already, but it's Ross Conlon on corrected order with Trent Lavis and Cal Watmore coming out of the lane. Ross Conlon leading, Cal Watmore, Dennis Hancock, Trent Lavis, then Gary Cousins, Jonathan Turner, Adam Lavis, Ryan Huckle, Pete Matson, and Julian Muckle, I should say, making up the top 10. I'm probably still getting that wrong, and I apologise in advance to Julian for that. Joe Baldwin just outside in 11th, Pete Davison, Brady McHugh, Paul Jensen, and Cohen Addard make up the top 15. And just having a look, yeah, it's Julian Mucky. I knew that, and I saw the I and read it as an L. I apologise. Ross Conlon, the early leader here, 23 minutes and 53 seconds of racing elapsed by the end of that previous lap. We are still under caution here, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Motorfocus 250 or 100, depending upon which you want to classify, the laps or the miles. It gets us to the same number, just over 400 kilometres for those of you in metric land. A reminder, of course, it's just before 8 o'clock on the east coast of Australia. We are racing virtually at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as though it was 5:35 in the afternoon on the 15th of May, which, of course, was only 16 days ago. Any particular reason for selecting a Friday race, Nick?
iRacing does it.
iRacing does it. Okay, fair
That's
enough.
completely random, yeah. Just choose a time of the day in terms of the afternoon or evening or morning, and then iRacing just chooses it from there.
Fair enough. Good stuff. So we are just past the quarterway mark, lap 27 of 100. You can see the leaderboard on the left-hand side of your screen there, folks. Ross Conlon's going to be in charge of the field to bring us back to green. I'll wait and see what the flagman is holding. He's holding the flag aloft and not waving it. So 1 to go this time, 1 to green. This time round, we'll be getting a resumption in the Indianapolis Motorfocus 100 here. It's been great to have you join us on a Sunday night, wherever you're watching around Australia, around the world even. And particularly those of you that have been regular viewers through Doadrift Esports of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club events. A reminder, of course, we're back tomorrow night. Road America, the venue for the Mel Porter Designs GT Series. And then, of course, we're off to Bathurst at the end of the week. So the two of the longest tracks we visit, all coming up in the next 5 days, of course, with the production cars and the stock cars running at Mount Panorama on Friday night, the 5th of June. Can you believe? Already at the end of May, folks. A reminder, of course, the production car series will expand beyond Friday night with some special events being inserted into the calendar. So we're not leaving you on a Friday night just yet. We've got plenty to come your way. And potentially some special events for the stock cars as well. Nick, we might let you go, mate. Good luck with what's to come.
Thank you.
We'll check back in with him post-race. Looking forward to that. Oh, dear. So, Ross Conlon.
Nico, if you wouldn't mind moving me, please. Sorry.
Okay, I'll let Paul do that. Because actually, he might not be able to just yet, Nick, because he's on mute there, but we'll wait and see. We'll do it as quickly as we can. So the yellow flag aloft at the moment. It's about to be a green flag. Ross Conlon, Dennis Hancock, Trent Lavis, Carl Watmore to bring the field back to green here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as the course car heads for the lane. He leaves it very late to pull off here, does the course car? In fact, no, he's going to come around one more time. That's how late he's left it. Course car's going to go around again. We had the flag held aloft saying 1 lap to green, but no, that will be this time around. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. The caution has been extended for another lap. Paul, now that you're back in the chat room, if you can flick Nick back into the iRacing channel, he'd greatly appreciate that. And then we'll get some comments from you as we go on here.
Where do you want to go, mate? Sorry.
Nick wants to go back into the iRacing room if he can.
No worries, yep.
Thank you. Because we can't distract him too much. He's racing hard at the or going to be at least attempting to race hard when we get back underway, and he'll have to race very hard as well. He's got to try and find 4 laps somehow. So whether that means we'll have a few more cautions to help him with waiver rounds or not remains to be seen. But anyway, it's Ross Conlon, it's Dennis Hancock, it's Trent Lavis at the moment, 1, 2, 3, Carl Watmore 4th, and Gary Cousins in 5th. Beautiful views of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the surrounds, the golf course over on the far side there, and on the infield as well, of course. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway has a golf course in and around it, and that's a good thing. I'm sure the Yanks would love to be able to play a game of golf right now. They can't do much peacefully right at this very moment.
Well, their president seems to get a lot of time for it, but
first coronavirus and now riots. They're not having a very good year in the United States. However, thankfully, that doesn't affect us in the virtual world, and we're going to have a good remaining 70 laps here tonight. The field coming back around onto the main straight this time, and this time we should go green with the course car heading for the lane this time. So green flag in the air. Let's get back on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the show back on. Ross Conlon brings the field to green, racing at the Brickyard, back underway. Oh, restart. And that was nasty. And now a couple of cars getting squeezed in more trouble. Oh, 2, 3, 4 cars involved. Bang. Surely we'll get another caution here. There are cars scattered across the start-finish straight at the Brickyard. On the back straight, Ross Conlon, Dennis Hancock and Trent Lavis are fighting over the same piece of real estate. As they head to turn 3, the officials are going to let it go. We've not seen a yellow thrown just yet. And that was one of our concerns, Nico, for restarts triggering cautions and crashes, and it's certainly delivering the latter at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think admin guys have got to look at that, and we want the race to continue. There's going to be accidents, we know that. We do have 3 fast repairs. We do have wave around, so they'll get back on track. I don't want to ruin the front guys' race, so let's let it go.
Let it go, we will. You can see there on your screen so many cars in pit lane at the moment. There's the move for the lead. Trent Lavis on the inside of Ross Conlon. Lavis back to the lead here. One more follows him through. Change for first and second. Great driving from both. Really good, smart move from Lavis. And then Watmore sensed his opportunity and pounced and did it smartly and cleanly. Really good stuff. Lavis and Watmore return to the lead of the Motorfocus 100 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Oh, that was nice driving from the pair of them. Ross Conlon, nothing wrong with the way he's driving so far.
Absolutely.
But just Lavis and Watmore just that little bit quicker, Paul.
Yeah, keeping on Joe Baldwin. Joe's very quick in these cars. He's come back after the crash, and I think he's up to about 9th at the moment, so doing a good job.
Indeed. Round onto the main straight. Watmore's trying to close in on Lavis now. Now, it's interesting to see whether Lavis will take the same approach as last time and just back out of it a little bit, let Watmore through to try and do some fuel conservation, like he did last time, but then that's when all hell broke loose. So let's see if he sticks to running the gauntlet at the front of the field and leading the way and letting everyone safe behind him. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, strategy at the moment, because clearly, as much as Lavis might be able to pick up something from Watmore if he was to follow him for a couple of laps, he's doing nothing wrong himself at the head of the field.
Yeah, don't think Cal was just calculating at the moment, just off the throttle, just keeping in the slipstream, so the conserving fuel. They might change it round during the race, I'd say. I mean, if you're smart, you just, you take a turn as Trent did earlier on, just jump back into third and stay behind for a while, save some fuel, save your tyres.
Indeed. It's third cam at turn 1. How good's our track cam from Doadrift Eastport? That is a great shot. Now, cars returning to the circuit as well right here. Our lead battle, what I'll be interested in is, you mentioned about what more lifting the throttle while he's in the slipstream. Obviously, that's why he's staying behind Lavis rather than mounting up really close onto the tail of the car and making the move for the lead. So, good strategic and tactical play from Watmore at the moment. And, I mean, if you can see what's in front of you, at least with one car, you've got a pathway through, but you've also got to be mindful that there are cars behind you. If you're sitting at the front of the field and you've got no one in front of you, you've constantly got a target on your back. Yeah,
absolutely. It's one of those things you need to make sure you're conscious, spatially aware of what's around you, and also check your relative and make sure you understand where people are on the track. Very, very difficult car to. You do have spotters in iRacing, which is very helpful. They're now catching some lap traffic, so this will be interesting.
Certainly will be, if they can get their way through cleanly, or whether we're going to strike trouble. Lavis will be the test dummy and the gauntlet in all of this. Anything, if you like. Looks like they've done an okay job so far. So just a reminder of what our running order looks like. Dennis Hancock is 4th. Joe Baldwin is 5th. Brady McHugh is 6th, I should say. So Joe Baldwin has actually slipped back a couple of positions here, behind Dennis Hancock and Gary Cousins, not just losing out to the leaders of this ball. Lavis is it? Cartwheeling down the main straight. It wasn't Lavis. My apologies. It's someone else. My goodness gracious me.
It's Adam Lavis.
I had the surname right. It's just the other one. It's Adam Lavis cartwheeling down the main straight, and now a fast repair in progress here in pit lane. That was an incredible smash. There have been some really spectacular crashes tonight, as everyone was saying on Friday night, and I agree with them, Paul. Thank God they're not picking up the damage bill here.
Absolutely, and I would not like to be in the car in real life in that sort of crash. But I think you'd be sore for a couple of weeks.
Try a month. My goodness.
Absolutely.
What's impressing you throughout the field here, Paul? Any particular driver that you've got an eye on at the moment in terms of how they're progressing through the field?
Yeah, look, Gary Cousins, Gazza, P3 at the moment. He's always consistent, no matter what car he drives. Also, Peter Madsen. Peter Madsen's one of the. Peter Madsen's actually the vice president of the club, and he's doing really well in P7 at the moment. So yeah.
Doing well, Ben. So Trent Lavis, Carl Watmore, and then Gary Cousins, 1, 2, and 3. And it's interesting, the top 4 started in the top 4. Lavis was on pole, Watmore started 3rd, Gary Cousins, who's 3rd at the moment, started 4th, and Joe Baldwin started in front of him in 2nd. They're there or thereabouts all night long. The big movers, have a look at this, Kester Ward from 40th to 7th.
Wow.
And Pete Davison from 33rd up to 8th. They're the massive movers at the top of the field at the moment. Dennis Hancock's gone through from 19th to be sitting 5th. They have been movers in all of that at the moment.
The guys are pointing out in the Twitch stream that the car we're following at the moment, Andre, number 18, he's gone from 35th to 27th. 35th to 27th. That's not bad either. 36 Michael Porter and Andre, sorry, who'd you say was that? Rob? That's
that name again?
18, Andre Cortez.
Andre Cortez. Yeah, he started 24th. He's now sitting 26th at the moment. So he's actually lost a couple of spots there. The car that has moved up from 36th was Michael Porter. Chris Kisby from 35th to 25th. And then Michael Porter, I think it was. I had him there on the screen a minute ago, from 36th to 27th. There have been a lot of movers and shakers throughout the field. Unfortunately, there are some big losers in all of that, but let's focus on the positive for the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll run through the cars on the lead lap, which is probably critical. I mean, I think if you're a lap down, it'd be hard to catch back from there. So we've got Trent Lavis, Cal Watmore, Gary Cousins, Joe Baldwin, Dennis Hancock, Pete Matson, Hester Ward, Peter Davison, Brett Selby Wood, Julian Bukai, Cohen Attard, and Brendan Jones all in the lead lap. John O'Hill's the first of the runners a lap down.
So just the 12 cars on the lead lap at the moment, and that's critical. Getting towards the back section of the race, as Paul was just mentioning. The battle at the head of the field, though, is fantastic. Half a second separates the top three. A second covers top four. Right here, right now. This is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Motorfocus 100 Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. First of a American doubleheader for you, of course, but it's over 2 nights because we're back tomorrow night to bring you all the action from the Mel Porter Designs GT Series, and that will be in in Wisconsin at Road America. Yep. So I'll get there eventually, just getting tongue-tied at the moment. But, yeah, it's not too far up the road, of course. It's in the same heartland as Indianapolis on the East Coast there. So looking forward to Wisconsin tomorrow night. And that will be good fun. Road America, a great part of the world. And that Mel Porter Design GT Series so far, Paul, has been top shelf motor racing the last few weeks, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We did a practice run last night. And top time for kind of 203, high 203s, 204s, 205. So it's going to be a really close race, I think. We're going to probably have to run 2 servers tomorrow night for a top split and bottom split. So yeah, it's a great event. Everyone's really loving it. So yeah, come back tomorrow night. Doadrift Esports on Facebook and Twitch, and catch the Mel Porter Design GT Series. And
we'll have somewhere in the vicinity of 60 starters for that if all goes to plan, Paul, because I think 60 is the good density for America.
Yeah, correct. And we may have to run 2 servers, as I said, Zach. We may have 2 splits, so we may have. We'll see how many people turn up, but we might have a top split 40-odd cars, bottom split, might be 30-odd cars, but we'll work it out as the night progresses.
Indeed, we will. Let me just. For some reason, I've just lost my. We got trouble over in turn 4. You can see it at the top of your screen there, folks. I was just saying I've lost my Facebook Live feed, but I've now just got it back, and we've got 3, 4, 5 cars in there. This should be another caution, I would think. Yeah, there it is. Caution flag flies. That's no real surprise. There was all sorts of carnage going on up there in turn 4. Some real big moments and shunts.
That was our number 2 placed
Cal Watmore. Yeah, there he is on the screen there. I couldn't pick it from that far away on the wide angle shot there, Rob, but I knew there was trouble because I saw it on the tight shot on the iRacing screen, and then saw that you were on turn 4 looking at it from the start finish line. Cal Watmore is in all sorts of trouble here.
I've never seen a car going that way down the pit lane.
There's a lot of toe out on that, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. That's not good for Cal Watmore because he was running second. Again, not an incident that was caused by him from what we saw, just caught up in someone else's carnage. That's been the story of the night thus far. Trent Lavis leads. Hester Ward now sitting there in second spot. What a drive that's been.
P40.
40. That's insane. Lavis, Ward, Davison, Matson, and Mucky, the top 5. Cohen Attard, then Gary Cousins, Cal Watmore, Joe Baldwin, and John O'Hill, the top 10. So even though he was skidding down the pit lane, for lack of better words, he was sitting 8th when he crossed the start-finish line. He won't be there now. Just 8 cars sitting on the lead lap here and all of that. However, there'll be quite a few getting a wave around this time.
If he can get back on the lead lap, so we'll see how he goes.
Well, that's right, yeah. Trent Lavis has done a brilliant job thus far. We are lap 46 of 100, so we're almost at half race distance here, folks. So keep an eye out on all of that as we continue to bring you Doadrift Esports, Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, Motorfocus 100 coverage. I'm speechless with everything that just unfolded there. 5 cars into the wall in turn number 4. And that's the thing, because they're carrying such speed, there's so many cars out on the circuit, incidents like this are bound to happen. and there'll be a few cars that have already used up their 3 fast repairs, Paul.
That's what I was just thinking about then. I mean, well, we had 3 safety cars, so some of them may have already used their 3 fast repairs. So, it's one of those races where if you just, like I was planning to do, just stick at the back and try and keep clean and stay out of trouble, like Kester Ward, like what an amazing drive. From 40th to 2nd, he's just stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, indeed he has. And that is not an easy thing to do. He's just driven
around here, no.
No, that's exactly right. He's done it smartly, but can he continue to do it? That's the thing.
And it can be one slip up in front of you. So Pete Davison as well, from 33rd to 3rd. Julian Mukai, 22nd to 4th. So those guys, the burning from the stern, have done a really good job.
Indeed they have. Sorry, I was just having a mouthful of lemonade. Needed that after 46 laps. No vodka tonight, but there might be something post-race. Who knows? Wave around's continuing here, so we're under coordinated review. Yes, exactly right. Read my mind, actually. And it's cold enough of a night time in Ipswich now that you don't actually have to put them in the fridge.
Oh, right, okay, nice.
Yeah, just a little bit of ice and it's cold enough. It's beautiful. So anyone that's been watching along that's got an interest in our National Rugby League, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be happy to know that the season's back underway. We're waiting for all of our other sports to get back up and running, but the NRL is the catalyst for everyone else to say, pull your finger out and get going. The Knights earlier today played out a 14-all draw with the Panthers, and at the moment the Bulldogs trail Manly 32-6. So apologies to any Canada out there, not least my mother, because it's not been a good night for the Bulldogs, unfortunately.
Where's Manly playing at home, or where are they playing?
This is, I believe this is being played on the Central Coast.
Okay. Oh, it was, yeah.
In Gosford there, so Central Coast Stadium. So,
Central Coast Motor Group, Central Coast Subaru, just in Gosford there.
Absolutely. Big thank you to those guys for their ongoing support. Also, LJ Hooker Gang Guard. More cars coming down pit lane. The caution flag being held up now, so that should mean one's a green, but we'll wait for confirmation on that. I think we might actually get 2 because the field's still very much sorting itself out.
There'll definitely be another one for sure.
Yeah.
Grab Nick in. You might want to have a chat. I'll just go over now. Hang on a second.
Yeah, why not? He's just thrown the caution flag there for us, so we'll get him into the chat room to have a quick yarn.
Hello, Nick.
Hello.
Talk to us, mates. There was some action there for Cal Wadmore and a few others. Were you able to avoid all of that?
I have no idea what happened because I was on the opposite side of the circuit. So
lucky.
There's about 5 or 6 cars in the wall coming onto what's that?
The main straight.
Main straight.
Yeah.
So I've had
cars everywhere.
Question in the Twitch.
Yes.
They've asked why car 18 Andre can't repair, or he can't. I think he can't go on. You answer that question.
So we've run out of fast repairs, I'd say. So there's 3 fast repairs, and he's run out of fast repairs.
We were just talking about that not 3 minutes ago, running out of fast repairs. It's nice to know that someone's already expired the count. Nick, are you thinking that 3 might not have been enough now?
I think 1 was too.
Oh dear. Now, let's just update everyone on where you're running at the moment. You might be 5 laps down, but you're 24th, so you're just below halfway through the pack. There are a lot of cars behind you that have struck a lot of trouble along the way here. And still a long way to go. And Trent Lavis leading the race, the man with very little oval experience, the man that's known for just getting in the car and seeing how he goes on the day. And it's going all right for him so far.
Yeah, look, what's the leaderboard say? Sorry, been
You're all right.
well where I am. Yeah, Trent qualified. Did he qualify on the front row?
Yeah, he took pole.
Good work. So yeah, he's been doing good.
And to be fair, I think the sole qualifying really helped him out there because the no slipstream, no draft, and all that sort of stuff. I think it worked really well.
Exactly. That was the whole reason behind doing that, just to see the actual pure speed of that particular person. So worked out well. Cream rises to the top.
It certainly did. Now, just having a look, we've got quite a few drivers in our chat room here. Looking forward to seeing and hearing from them post-race. Just quickly before we let you go again, mate.
Yep.
because we're getting ready for a restart very shortly. What's the feedback? What's the comments and the talk been like in the chat server so far amongst the drivers?
You don't want to hear that. Hear that.
Yeah.
Asked and answered. I thought no, I didn't think it would be.
I actually had to mute it at one point, so
Well, that's bad.
yeah.
Yeah, you know it's bad when you've got to be fair dinkum. All right, well, we'll look forward to having a chat to you later on in the race if there's another caution, mate. Actually,
Yeah,
when
sure.
there's another caution.
I'm hoping we can get through this next stint without a caution, and we were almost there, so...
Well, you were, absolutely. But this is going to throw the strategy game out, isn't it? Because we're trying to make it to somewhere between 65 and 70 and get home from there. And this caution's just throwing all of that out.
Yeah.
We're getting one lap to green signal now.
We're about to go green. I got to go, boys.
We are going to go green. Good to see you, mate. Thank you for that. Good to chat to you at least. Thanks for that. And now we're getting ready to go racing here. The flag was still being held up. It's now been withdrawn. There's a green one in the flag marshal's hands here. The flag waves and we go back racing at the Brickyard. Trent Loris leads the field down the main straight. Now, can we get through a couple of laps here without any form of carnage? We'll wait and see. Through turn one. So far clean. Ravis leads. He's cleared out on the restart. He's done well. Done very well off the restart. Converted nicely. And he's at the forefront of a lot of the action so far tonight, but he's avoided all of the carnage. There's a skill required to be able to be that lucky 3 times in one night. We've had 3 cautions, of course. And now we wait to see what might unfold in the next 50 laps here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Just like traffic moving out of the road there. And coming to pit road. Oh, trouble on pit road, actually. 3 cars heading down into the lane. So pit stops are plenty here off the restart. Trent Lavis continues to lead the motor race. Dennis Hancock's moved up to second. Pete Davison is third. Julia Muckey is fourth. Brett Selby Wood is fifth. In fact, there's a good battle going on between Selby and Gary Cousins and also Julia Muckey. 4th, 5th and 6th. There they come. Through your screen now. 1, 2 and 3. Just have a listen to the sound of Indy cars flying around the speedway at Indianapolis. It's music for the ears, isn't it, Paul?
I just saw in that shot then there was an accident in pit lane. It's like one of those frowned upon things. It's like, you don't have an accident in pit lane.
No, yes. This is so very true.
There's been about 10 accidents in pit lane, I think I've caught tonight, so you're going to have your work cut out.
This is not a point scoring round, so I won't be working at all.
And probably very lucky as well, I'd say, in all of that. Lucky call. So,
I'm sure there'll be some blow-ups on Facebook, but in the end, it's all about having some fun, and hopefully Nico's had fun with his
and let's be honest, I think he would have preferred to have more fun, i.e. be further up the field, but we'll get to that later in the race. But the fact of the matter is, yes, it's about fun, and it's important to just stop and have a bit of a muck around, a bit of a fun outing, rather than the seriousness of the weekly competitions from time to time. So,
yeah, but I guarantee you put a steering wheel and a screen in front of someone, and if they're competitive, they'll want to do their best. And
for sure.
You know, we've got different levels of driving skill here, and it shows. Unfortunately, tonight there's some driving skill that's probably not up to the level that the faster guys are at the front, and unfortunately sometimes they suffer from that, but it's a learning experience for all of them. So we'll come back next birthday party and do it again.
Indeed. Who's the next birthday party? What's the next special event we've got? Paul, any idea?
Unfortunately, I missed my 50th. I was planning on having a big 50th.
Wow.
Which was the 4th of April, but obviously due to COVID-19, I couldn't get everyone together. But so my 50th and 51st will be April next year, but I'm not sure who else on the committee's birthday is coming up. Pete, Matts and myself are one day apart, so I'm sure we're going to have a big party for that. So, I'm sure there'll be other special events, and we've kind of cleared the calendar now for Saturdays and Sundays. We'll do special events, and Different tracks, different cars, bit of fun.
Indeed, and I know there are a lot of ideas put forward about where we should send the stock cars in the weeks ahead as well. So I know you guys will be working overtime to come up with a nice little challenging calendar for those drivers. Of course, the championship wraps up on Friday night with Glenn Postlethwaite in the box seat at the moment. We head to Mount Panorama for that. Hope you're enjoying Sunday Night Motorsport with us here. Geez, it feels nostalgic to be saying that, because anyone that knows my background will know that I used to do Sunday Night Motorsport in the corridors of 2MCE down in Bathurst for 2009, 10 and 12. So to be back in the chair on a Sunday night, geez, it's got a touch of nostalgia to it. The Indy Motor Speedway, of course, is the Motorfocus 250 or 100, depending upon what you want to call it, miles or laps. 250 miles, 100 laps of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here. We are lap 56 at this point in time. Julian Mucky.
I don't know if you can see it, but I popped you a message there if you want to check that on Facebook.
Oh yeah, that was for you, Paul. So I'll let you deal with that. We'll wait and see if we can. Depends on who's in the chat room and who isn't. Not all the drivers that are racing are in our chat window. So we'll let Paul attend to that, and we'll see if we can have a chat to someone as we go. Anyone that's retired from the race, if you're watching or if you're in the chat room and you want to come in and have a chat to us in commentary, just send us a message, let us know. We're happy to chat to drivers along the way here. You're currently looking at, I believe we've got Brett Selby-Wood there on screen. Just behind him, we've got Kester Ward and Pete Matson. Just ahead of him, we've got Julian Mucky and Coronado. Coronado, the big move off the restart here. Pete's sitting down there in position number... Coronado's up in position number 4 now. Brett Selby-Wood is 6th from 23rd on the grid. In the chat room, we've got have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Andre Courts is in the chat room with us. If you can unmute your microphone there, Andre, and have a chat to us, mate. That's been a Henry incident-packed night. Unfortunately, it's probably put pay to your campaign, unfortunately. You were down there, 31st position, we've got you, but 21 laps down.
Yep, okay, so what happened? So, I think it was second lap.
Yep.
I think a yellow car came upside and we had a tangling, and then 4th lap, another tangling, and then I think after the first safety car started, there was a car off to the side. I might have caused an accident. Might have. and then...
Hey, Andre, you can own up to it, mate. It's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to... Yeah, don't own up to that stuff. We don't see stuff happen, okay? So don't own up to it.
There's no strict theories after this one, mate. It's all good.
No, dear. No, tell us about it, though, Andre, because obviously we know that you're a new name to our Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club audience. And particularly the Doadrift Esports broadcast. Tell us about the challenge of the Indy cars and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the traffic with 40 cars around you.
Well, the Indy cars don't have really a lot of... It depends on your setup, really, and how much fuel you have. For me, I feel like when I've got less fuel in the tail end's a bit more happy. And with all the traffic, well, because I'm not as... I wouldn't say... a massive oval racer, what would I do? I would normally just stay behind people and just slipstream them all and just drive around the track and enjoy myself.
And when you look at the night that was, I mean, obviously you've been involved in a couple of incidents. You even publicly admitted to causing one. But how difficult is it when you're carrying as much speed as these Indy cars do to react to those moments happening in and around you and avoid them if possible?
Well, just slow down, really. For me, it was just slow down and just go 100 kilometers an hour.
That's probably a good idea, Andre.
Probably not a bad idea at all, mate. Thanks for having a chat to us and commiserations. Not the result you would have wanted tonight, but we hope you enjoyed yourself regardless, mate. Thanks very much.
I'll be back soon. Anyway, see you guys.
All the best.
See you, mate.
We've got Andre joining us for a chat there. Thank you to him. And thanks to Rob for teeing that up and making it happen. Now, have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. The Team Australia livery in action here. And I'm just trying to sort that out, who we're following there at the moment. It'll tell me on my right-hand monitor here. Oh, of course. That's
Pete Batson and
Pete Matson, I think. Is it? Peter Davison is what I'm reading on my screen here. Now I'm just trying to work out where that is in the running order. That's what the Doadrift Esports signal says on the right hand corner of your screen there. We've now gone off that shot, of course, folks, but yeah, we'll sort that out for you. Director, can you tell us who the two Team Australia cars were, just for the benefit of those of us that couldn't quite pick it up? I don't think Rob's paying attention to me at the moment, but that's okay. We'll continue on. Trackside camp here at Indianapolis. IndyCar Sunday night, Indianapolis. Can't ask for much better than this. 8 minutes past 6 track time. And you can see the clouds coming in. It started out a fine and sunny day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
So
clouds running around the circuit. Yes, who have we got here, Rob?
Yeah, it's Peter Davidson.
Okay.
Thank
you very much, then.
The track temp down to 25 and ambient 7.8.
Yes.
So certainly cooling down.
It's cooling down dramatically. And let's be honest, when I look at the weather map here, 18 degrees in track 25. The interesting thing for that is 18 degrees at 6 o'clock on a spring afternoon. That's actually cool for Indianapolis. So
the track will become grippier and grippier. Obviously, it gets a bit cooler.
Yeah. Hopefully, that'll mean the incidents will become less and less. But I probably am speaking a little bit too soon here at this point in time.
Yes.
Yes. Now, see, I've been scrolling through my leaderboard looking for Pete Davison. There he is in third place at the moment, coming to pit lane. So Cohen Addard and Trent Lavis were right there as well. Behind Peter was also Gary Cousins, sorry. Yeah. So Cohen Addard, Gary Cousins and Kester Ward, 2, 3, 4, and Pete Matson rounding up the top 5 at the moment. Pete Davison in the lane. You just saw him go in position number 6. Just 7 cars remain on the lead lap right here, right now.
Probably 63 laps in. 64.
So 63 of 100. And we are live right through the completion here. That's the great thing about Doadrift Esports. We're commercial for you as well, folks. Unlike when you watch the NBC broadcast of the 500 later in the air, trouble on the main straight! Massive trouble on the main straight. There was a car. You'll see it in a moment, folks. There it is. Massive crash on the main straight. I'm surprised that didn't trigger a caution because there was a car that had spun round. Again, I couldn't pick up the number. It happened too quickly for us, but there's the caution now. There's the yellow being thrown. My goodness gracious me.
Hey, Zach, just going back to what you were saying, we are commercial free. However, if you would like us to have commercials, please contact the Gentleman's Racing Club.
No, I don't think we will. That's what I was going to say. When you watch the Indianapolis 500, you're always getting disrupted by commercials in the middle of a motor race. It's terrific to watch commercials and have a sprinkling of motor racing on the side. But here, thankfully, you get motor racing all the way through, which is fantastic.
We're always looking for sponsors to support our racing, but I don't think we'll ever have commercials. Correct?
Just with sponsor acknowledgement at the top of the screen, as you'll see now during this caution period.
As an NFL fan, Zach, I do get to watch a great series of ads with a little bit of football on the side for the Super Bowl.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
About 4 hours of ads with about 20 minutes of football, I think.
That's it.
But the Gentleman's Racing Club is a not-for-profit, which is we're about promoting motorsports, promoting sim racing motorsports, and providing benefits for our members, coaching, assistance. So it's a not-for-profit organisation. So sponsors are welcome, and they get a tax deduction, obviously, if they wish to sponsor us.
Now, just to go back and fill in the pieces here too, boys, because there was an incident there that triggered this caution, and I saw it on the right monitor, not the monitor that you were watching live here, folks. Just to fill you in at home, we get 2 monitors in our studio here. We get the iRacing feed that's being fed through from the iRacing server itself, and there's going to be a flurry of pit stops here as everyone heads to the lane. And how unlucky would you be if you're Pete Davison, coming to pit lane before the caution instead of going around one more time. He would have got the caution in the pit window had he gone around one more time. But we're at a critical number as well. 33 to go. A lot of these drivers can now, potentially, if they were able to save fuel behind the caution, potentially save fuel and get home in a 33-lap run. So we are at the critical number. 30 to 35 laps was that critical window of pit sequence and fuel burn. I think it's an 89. I think it's an 89 litre tank.
Yeah, correct. 89 litres, 89.2
Yeah.
or something like that. So I think if you fuel save from here, if you're drafting, you should be able to get home without pitting again.
And this is why we were all talking about it being a two-stop race and the like. So 30 to 35 laps. That give if you get 35 to a tank, you get to 70 on two stops, and then your third run would be 30. And that's what everyone was worried about, getting to this window. And now that the caution's fallen where it is, we expect to see a little bit of economical fuel saving going on to get us home, depending upon how long this caution stays out for. As I say, just to go back and fill in the pieces. So we're seeing two monitors. What the broadcast is being leaked out to you guys, fed out by Doadrift Esports, that's being distributed. Rob is directing that from his end. So we see that feed, and we also see the iRacing feed. If you go in and be a spectator on iRacing, as you can do, you'll see a different feed again, and you can actually have a little bit of a play around. And at the time, because for whatever reason, just because it's Indianapolis, I selected give me the most exciting, as in what's happening out there, and that's what it has done. And again, I didn't
iRacing, the replay options you've got, you can pick on, you can actually watch leader, watch most exciting, and watch crashes. So if you're spectating, you can jump around between drivers and change camera angles. That's what the amazing thing about this software is.
Indeed it is. And that's and to finally get around to filling you in with what happened. Again, I didn't catch the number, it happened all too quickly, but there was a car parked facing backwards to turn 4, obviously had a spin in the last corner and was sitting backwards on the main straight on the racing line. As the cars have come out of turn 4 at warp speed, 3 of them missed, 1 of them hit, and that's what sent us into a catapult, if you don't mind, of cars flipping and spinning and flying all over the place. So at the 2/3 distance, at 68 laps, I think we've now lodged. We're at 69. We're now on lap 70. 104, 1 hour and 4 of racing.
32.
For Trent Lavis. 30 laps left in this race.
30, yep.
And we've got plenty of time up our sleeve. It won't be a time certain fixture, this one, which is a relief to most people. Because it was a 2 hour, 40-minute window given for this race. Nick may have been anticipating a few more cautions than what we got. But yes, 30 laps to go, including the one that we are... 30 laps to go next time by. So 31 to go, including the one we're on. 1 hour, 4 minutes, 27 seconds lodged so far. Trent Lavis, Cohen Haddad, Gary Cousins, Kester Ward, Pete Matson, Pete Davison, and then Julian Muckey. Then Dennis Hancock, Brendan Jones, Jonathan Turner, Adam Lavis. That takes you through to 11th. And interesting to note too, Paul, at this point in time, 7 cars on the lead lap. Everyone else 2 laps down or more. So that is quite extraordinary.
Yeah, so unless the lead drivers are 2 laps in advance of anyone behind them. So if they keep it clean, that top 7 will probably remain the same. But that's debatable. I think they can be taken out at any stage, unfortunately, by lap traffic that may. Oh, we go. Oh, they're starting out. Off we go.
Restart time at the Brickyard, and we're back underway, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 71 of the Indianapolis 250 for Motorfocus here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Finally, back to green. Trent Lavis leads Cohen Haddad. Down the back straight. There he is, Trent Lavis, doing a great job. Out there, 3-4 car lengths to Cohen Haddad at the moment. He's got a good little buffer up his sleeve right here, right now. Kester Ward's in 4th spot. Gary Cousins is 3rd. Round onto the main straight. Another lap in the books here at the Brickyard. Across the start-finish line, and that will get us to lap 72 now. So 71 in the books, 29 to go. Lavis, Haddad, Then Gary Cousins, Kester Ward, Pete Matson, Peter Davison, the top 6, and Julia Mucky in 7th. They're the only drivers on the lead lap here. It's going to take us an eternity to run through the finishing order at the end of this. Don't worry about that. They head down the back straight one more time. This is terrific racing. First, second, third, fourth, not much in this. Kester Ward has charged through to sit fourth at the moment. From 40th, if you don't mind. So 29, 28 laps to go as they cross the line. I'm just going to change things around here so that I can keep a look on the race leader here, which is, of course, Trent Lavis. He's got Cohen Allard right on his tail here at the moment. There they are going through turn 3. We focus on the battle a couple of positions back. Kester Ward, Pete Matson, Peter Davison in there as well. They're trying to chase down Gary Cousins and maybe even some lap traffic in amongst that as well. 3.1 seconds separates the top 7 in the motor race as they cross the line one more time. There's Lavis and Cohen Allard going into turn 1, and Cohen Allard is giving Trent Lavis the big hurry up here. This is what we've been waiting for, that slipstreaming drafting duel, that lick the stamp standard approach, or you just sit back and wait for your moment. Normally we'd be seeing overtakes and lead changes. We haven't seen too much of that tonight. And Trent Lavis continues to hold the line through turn 3 on the run up to 4. You right on board with Cohen Allard. He puts the nose down the inside and can't get the job done. Back to the main straight. Now he pulls to the inside. Will he have enough up the inside going to turn 1? You see it from the aerial shot. Cohen Allard looking to go to the lead with the 250 for Motorfocus and does so. Down the inside of Trent Lavis. They're side by side coming out wide. Lavis up against the wall. But Cohen Allard's got the line right here right now. We got change at the brickyard. Lavis forced the issue back down the outside of the run down the back straight, still side by side. That's what we've been waiting all night for, folks. And out to the inside, getting finally make Lavis surrender the position and cement the lead. No, he can't. They're still side by side, 3-4, and now Renard will get the job done. Great racing here, side by side of the strike. Allard pipped him at the post, 0.004 of a second, separating first and second. And Allard now finally cements the spot and they go back to being line astern. And look at Jerry Cousin did all of this as well. He's the big mover and shaker here. He's got onto the tail of these two. So it's a 3-way fight for the lead now. We've been waiting all night for this, folks. Magnificent, clean racing so far. The battle for the lead is a 1, 2, 3 car race through turn 4, back to the main straight. Lap 76 is behind us. Lap 77 now. The Motorfocus 100 lapper. 250 miles of the Brickyard. And we are ever edging closer to the finish of this one here. Round onto the back straight. Magnificent views trackside to see the battles. 1, 2, 3, and then that 4-way or 3-way fight, I should say, for 4th as well, being led by Kester Ward. Here's Gary Cousins now. Gary Cousins, I should say now. I don't know where I'm getting Jerry from. Gary Cousins. I'll get that right before the end of that. Back to the main straight. Here he is. Looking up on the inside of Trent Lavis. No, won't get the job done. Neck and neck, nose to tail, side by side, sort of running here. 0.15 of a second separates the 3 of them as they head through turn 1. Kester Ward, Pete Davison, Pete Matson, the next group through. 4th, 5th and 6th. And Julia Mucky's about 3 seconds back from that. 0.5 of a second separates the battle for 4th. Cohen Allard leads at the Brickyard. Trent Lavis in behind him. Gary Cousins, that's the battle you're watching right here, right now, folks. 1 hour 11 in the books. The Motorfocus 250 from the Brickyard. Doadrift Esports Sunday Night Motorsport. Live and exclusive and exciting as it is from the Brickyard right here, right now. And there goes Lavis having a look up on the inside, but he tucked back in. So Allard holds the line, holds the spot for the moment. Down the back straight, on the road, towards the completion of lap 79. There'll be 21 laps to go. The field has sorted itself out. They're in the groove now. There haven't been too many incidents the last couple of laps. Not that we've seen any anyway. It's been really good stuff. Everyone's keeping it clean in the back half of the race here. Have a look at how good this is for a second and third. Now this battle for 4th, 5th and 6th is equally as good too, ladies and gentlemen. Kester Ward 4th, Pete Davis in 5th, Pete Knudsen 6th. Half a second separate them three. 0.16 separates the top three at the head of the field. Oh, you've got to be loving this. Three-way fights, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. 1 hour 12 in the books. Trouble on the outside there, going into turn 3, out of turn 3, up on the run to turn 4 in the short shoot there. There was a car off on the right-hand side. You may have seen it. All these drivers, Ward, Davis and Knudsen, did a great job to avoid it. And still they avoid it. I don't know who that is behind them. It's not Julian Mucky. It's a driver that's a lap down, but he's hanging in for the long haul here. Right on the tail there of Pete Knudsen. Sticking with them, keeping them honest. Now back at the front, Cohen Haddard's got breathing space over Trent Lavis. And behind them, Gary Cousins. 1, 2, 3 lap traffic coming up. Another lap in the books. About 40 seconds a lap they're clocking here at the moment at the Brickyard. That's, to put it into metric terms, that's a kilometre every 10 seconds these cars are covering at the moment. It is incredible pace. Right here, right now.
222.22. That's
it, exactly right. Oh, that was a phenomenal qualifying time from Trent Lavis earlier in the evening, folks. Of course, 40.508. It wasn't the fastest time we've seen all night, of course. There were faster times in the practice session, but that was with slipstreaming and drafting and the like coming in. John O'Hill, 40.384. But the qualifying time from Trent Lavis, if you're just joining us, was 222.222 miles per hour. Richie Benno territory, if you don't mind. Good stuff. Trent Lavis, on the inside of the lap traffic there. Trying to stick with Cohen Haddard, but struggling to at the moment. Cohen Haddard's built a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of a gap. It isn't enough to be comfortable. And we know that there will be incidents that these guys will have to avoid in the last few laps. But Cohen Haddard's done a great job here, as has Trent Lavis, to try and break clear of Gary Cousins there. 0.6 of a second separates the top three in the car race. Then we've got, of course, Adam Lavis a little bit further back in the field. He's sitting down there in 10th at the moment. Across the line, the rest of the field. I'll just quickly run through. Haddard, Lavis, Cousins, then Ward, Davis and Madsen. Mucky. Ryan Huckle sitting there in 8th. 9th is Jamie Kingskit. 10th is Adam Lavis. Now those guys are the first to the lap's traffic, and they're 4 laps down, if you can believe that. So the top 7 on the lead lap, everyone else forget about it. You're 4 laps down. Our good mate Nico Pop, I didn't get to cover this before the restart. He was sitting down there. He's now 20th, 8 laps down. He won't be very happy. It's not a very happy birthday for him right here, right now. But look at this. Look at Trent Lavis closing right up onto the back of Cohen Haddard through turn 1. This is great motorsport. Say what you like about the simulation world of motor racing that we've been embracing over the last 7 weeks. But this is the best of the real world with the best of the sim world right here. You're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting the atmosphere and the noise of an IndyCar race, and you're doing it from the comfort of your lounge room, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just as exciting as the real thing right here, right now. We're all on the edge of our seat. It's fantastic. And we are inside 20 laps to go. 15, in fact, as they cross the line. Lap 86 of the race. Ryan Huckle's coming to pit lane. That's interesting as well. So now that's the big question. Will Cohen Haddard, will Trent Lavis get there on fuel? Will a late race caution come in and help them with that process? And let's face it, we've got about 4 laps for that to be thrown, or otherwise we're going to go green all the way. We've been promised the last 10 laps, like our stock car racing on a Friday night, will be caution-free. This is terrific. An awesome scrap. as is this one here. This is Kester Ward and Peter Davison, folks, 4th and 5th. Peter, of course, the car that we were having trouble picking up earlier, but that's because he's running the same livery as Gary Cousins, if you don't mind me saying so. The Team Australia hark back from the Champ Car days as they head round onto the back straight. Team Australia, that livery gets my vote for the night, actually, as far as I'm concerned. Love the Team Australia throwback as they head down the back straight. So this is the battle for 4th. And it's the top three. 0.6 of a second separate Adad, Lavis and Gary Cousins. It's 3 seconds back to this battle here between Kester Ward and Pete Davison. But they've left Peter Madsen behind. He's sitting there in 6th. I say they've left him behind, but it's only a second and a half. That could be made up somewhere down the track. Everyone else out of business in terms of the outright results. So our focus will be Coronado and Trent Lavis, just 1/10 of a second separating them at the moment. There they are, coming through onto the main straight here at the Brickyard. Look at Gary Cousins, sensing a chance if something was to go wrong between the front pair. Adard's right there with Lavis. Does Lavis pull out and have a move? Have a look? Not yet is the answer. Oh, we're on the edge of our seat here, folks. We hope you are as well. 12 laps to go. This is lap 89 of the Motorfocus 100 from the famous Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Who'll be kissing the bricks and drinking the milk? We're about 5-6 minutes off finding out here. Maybe a little bit more than that. Coming up slightly wide, going through turn 3. Great run from Trent Lavis. Even better run from Gary Cousins. He got the double top from the podium. He's right there now. 11 laps to go across the start-finish line. Aldo's doing a great job. He's had the lead for about 10-11 laps here. And Lavis has been putting the pressure and applying it for that entire time. Sensed his opportunity, took it, made a move, and now Lavis is just sitting there waiting to respond. Gary Cousins might have something to say about that. Lavis deserves the win. He was fastest in qualifying. He led much of the opening stint, and indeed the second stint. He would deserve the win, but so would Coronado, having come from 16th on the grid. Gary Cousins started 4th. So you've got the best of both worlds here. You've got guys that have worked their way through traffic as well as guys that have been there right from the start. 3 wide and straight. Are you kidding me here? 10 laps to go. To turn 1 they go. Lavis was wide going through 1, but he tucks back in. He doesn't lose any time. Doesn't lose out to Gary Cousins yet either. To the back straight. Oh, look at this. Adard has the lead, but he's going to have to go into defense mode here very shortly. Lavis looking to go around the outside at turn 3. It worked for him earlier. It doesn't on this occasion. He's going to have to worry about Gary Cousins right now because Cousins is coming right in to have a fight. Look at this. 9 laps to go, Paul. Anyone can win it from here. These 3, they're going gangbusters.
In front of them, so that's going to really make a difference on it.
It's going to make a difference where they can get by. If they're unimpeded, which I think they might be, lucky enough to get by that lap traffic on the back straight. Look at this from Gary Cousins' angle. A little bit of a touch between Adard and Lavis. Don't worry about that. Where do they get by this lap traffic, and does it impede one of them more than the other? Let's wait and see. Coronado will be using the slipstream to boost the toe to his advantage here as they come back around onto the main straight. Lap traffic moves out of the road. Nicely done. Well done indeed. That's good etiquette. Now we've got 8 laps to go. And it's a 3-way fight. It's what we always wanted. We wanted a grandstand finish here. We're certainly going to get one. The short shoot to 2. Adard, Lavis, Cousins, 1, 2 and 3. Lavis goes to the outside, down the back straight. Cousins follows him. Adard holds the inside line. He's going to be driving to the inside for the remaining 8 laps, you get the feeling. Round turn 4, onto the main straight, they'll come again. 7 laps to go. The IndyCar, circa 2009, delivering the goods here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Sunday Night Motorsport, Doadrift Esports. We're all on the edge of our seat. We hope you are as well, Australia. We hope you're enjoying this. Get up and cheer on your lounger, and this has been spectacular stuff. Once we got through all the carnage and the rubbish earlier on, it's really worked to our advantage here to watch this battle. Oh no! Can you believe that? I saw Ravers go by him, but it was a spin for Adard, not taking away from Adard, and then there were two. God, Adard is gone.
All on his own, I think.
Oh, I can't believe that. I was just about to say, as we got through all the rubbish, all the carnage and the cautions, we've now had a really good motor race starting to unfold here in front of us. It's still a cracker at the front, but we've been deprived that three-way fight and we've been left with a two-way fight. I cannot believe it. Cohen Adard has fallen out of contention here at the Brickyard. He'll slip back to 7th, but if he can get back on the track, he'll redeem 7th. He'll finish 7th because he won't go 4 laps down with the fast repair, and I don't think he's used all 3 of them so far. We'll wait and see. Now, onto the main straight again. Gary Cousins will sense an opportunity here to get by Trent Lavis, and let's not forget, if these two come to blows at any point in time here, it'll be Pete Davison, it'll be Kester Ward and Pete Knudsen fighting for the win. It's Davison and Ward in a two-way fight for 3rd at the moment. The final spot on the podium, lap traffic again playing its role here.
Hold on, lap traffic again.
Yeah, but actually, the lap drivers, when they haven't been spinning and crashing, they've been exemplary in terms of
very good, yeah.
Right, haven't they?
When they're on track,
really good. Yeah, exactly. Round of the main straight. Oh boy, take a breath and hold on. The final 4 laps of the motor race here. Now look at this battle for 3rd. Pete Davidson's got by Kester Ward and taken 3rd away from him. Just 0.2 of a second separate them at the moment, if that. Kester Ward will sense an opportunity to grab a podium finish here, but Pete Davison will want it just as much. Down the back straight they go. Smart driving from both men.
Ready to go?
3 to go this time by the line. Trent Lavis will lead. Gary Cousins there in 2nd spot. Gary Cousins on the outside now. Look at this. Right. If only we could do camera in camera, we'd have to keep an eye on both battles here. We'll do our best to stay across them both for you, folks. Kester Ward's on the inside going to turn 1. I'll wait and see if he got by Peter Davison in a moment. We've got our eyes on this battle and fight. Yes, he did. Kester Ward up in a 3rd again. That battle's not over yet. Nor is the battle at the front here, ladies and gentlemen. Trent Lavis on the inside to hold the lead for the moment. Gary Cousins doing all he can to find a way through, but Trent is making that IndyCar as wide as he can. 2 laps to go.
I say Gary's trying to just size him up for when he can get him at the line. So Gary's very smart driver. So I think he's just going to size him up and get a run.
And that's all he'll need, and he'll need to do it either this time by or next time by, or maybe off the last corner, Sam Hornish style. 2006, down the back straight, penultimate lap. Trent Lavis has done a great job on the oval tonight. And he could add his name to the illustrious list in the winners. Oh, dear, oh dear. He's held on to it, but he's lost too much time, Paul. He's lost too much time. That's the race for Trent Lavis. White flag is in the air. Look at this battle continuing. Kester Ward and Pete Davison side by side. Davison's got 3rd back. White flag waving in the air this time. As I said, Trent Lavis is about to add his name to an illustrious list of Indianapolis winners. It's not the 500, but it's still Indianapolis all the same. But we've got our eyes on this battle for 3rd here because it's the final spot on the podium. Gary Cousins will lose the race, but he'll still finish 2nd. Kester Ward on the inside to go to 3rd. They'll go side by side through turn 3, and Kester Ward's got the job done. Checkered flag in the air. Trent Lavis will get the job done at the Brickyard. What about that? Oh, that is fantastic racing. The checker flag not waving for some reason there, but Trent Lavis on our numbers has clocked 100 laps and he will get the job done, and the Indy 250 will go his way. Gary Cousins in for 2nd. Kester Ward got 3rd, and he got it by 0.069 of a second. Kester Ward 3rd. over Pete Davison. So the Team Aussie cars go 2 and 4. And the Skitch Control boys go 1 and 3. Pete Matson home for 5th. Julian Muckey goes 6th. And it looks as though Cohen Haddad never got to resume back on the racetrack there. He's going to be classified somewhere down 13th or 14th, if you don't mind me saying so. Pete Davison, Pete Matson, 4th and 5th. Julian Muckey in for 6th. That was the final car home on the lead lap. Adam Lavis in for 7th. Brendan Jones, John O'Hill and Jonathan Turner the top 10. Again, 4 laps down Adam Lavis and Brendan Jones. 5 laps down John O'Hill and Jonathan Turner. And now Trent Lavis is going to light it up onto the main straight here at Indianapolis. He's pulling up on the Yardo bricks. He'll get the chance to kiss the bricks and drink the milk. Full cream skim, flavoured, I don't care. There goes the burnouts and celebrations. Lavis wins at the Brickyard. That is a sensational performance. For someone that hasn't done a lot of oval racing in the past, he did a fine, damn good job tonight and absolutely lit it up. Kester Ward joins him for the burnout celebrations. We'll get the boys into the chat room very shortly. We'll hear from our own Nico Pop as well. It's been one hell of a race. I think the boys will be lobbying for a bit more oval racing in the weeks ahead. After what we've seen tonight, they've learnt very well, very quickly, and adapted to it quite nicely. Lavis and also Kester Ward there lighting the main straight up, just getting what's left of the rubber and letting it evaporate. Kester Ward particularly enjoying himself there. And now we have a chance to take a breath, if you don't mind, after what was an incredible last 15 or 16 laps of motor racing.
I heard you
in
didn't
that
take a
battle
breath.
for the lead. Sorry, what was that, Nick?
I heard you didn't take a breath.
I probably didn't, actually. I think poor Paul was trying to get a word in, but no, that was phenomenal. Trent Lavis home by 1.3 seconds. Bad luck for Cohen Haddad. You got to feel for him. I don't know exactly what happened there. We'll find out shortly from him what happened there on the, what was it, the 4th or 5th last lap. It ruined what was a terrific 3-way fight. And then, of course, Gary Cousins slipping through turn 3 on the penultimate lap and doing enough to lose control or lose speed. He didn't lose control of the car to the point where he crashed. He just lost enough speed to wipe any chance of fighting Lavis for the win on the final lap. Oh boy, what a race that was. 1 hour 26 and 27 the race time. 1.3 the winning margin. Kester Ward and Pete Davison were 7 seconds back from our winner, Trent Lavis. And Pete Matson home for 5th. Julian Muckey, Adam Lavis, Brendan Jones, John O'Hill, Jonathan Turner, the top 10 there. We'll get those results will stay up on the screen there for you. Let's bring in the boys and have a chat post-race here. I won't start with the birthday boy because it hasn't been a happy night for him. He come home 17th in the end. But Trent Lavis, you've taken to oval racing like a duck to water, mate. Well done.
Who would have thought I knew how to turn left, eh?
Talk to us through the preparation and the process for this afternoon, mate, because obviously we know your approach on a Friday night is to bird from the stern and just, maybe 3 or 4 laps of prep and then away you go. You're firing into it straight away. Did you do any more than that for the Brickyard tonight?
I think I did about 10 laps to Sava. I was messaging old Nico for the setup and stuff like that. I did about 10 laps and I said, I can do just a 40 on my own, and then jumped into the server in the practice session and had some pace by myself. So I thought I'd give it a crack in quali, and I put an absolute blinder in quali. It was a perfect lap. Like got the wheels down onto the ripple strip just and turned the corner and powered out and didn't slide. It was a cracking quali lap. So that put me up the front and good spot to keep out of trouble. That's for sure.
Indeed. Now, we were riding on board with Gary Cousins in the last couple of laps there when Cohen had his spin. Was there any contact from you, or did he do it on his own?
No, he got loose through turn 1 on his own. I was right. I was giving him a bit of strife. I wasn't touching him, though, but got a bit loose on his own. I seen him going. I'm like, oh, geez, here we go. So I just sidestepped him a little bit, and he just kept spinning, so he didn't snap back and collect me, luckily. But it was. I think it was just a bit of pressure for Cohen, but that was a lot of fun, that side-by-side stuff at the end. We're both putting a bit of pressure on each other, and I think I might have outpsyched him a little bit there at the end.
Yeah, quite possibly so. Now, I know it's the virtual world. I know it wasn't the 500, but still, to win a 250-mile race at Indianapolis and join an elite list or an illustrious list, as I said in the call, of race winners at the Brickyard, that's got to sit well on a resume that includes a Willowbank and a Lakeside 300.
I'm going to take it to wherever I can get it, mate. It's about time I got a bloody win, so I'll chalk it up, and it doesn't matter where it is, as long as the win's a win. So it's not bad to kiss the bricks on the finish line there.
We'll talk about that.
What long race.
What kind of milk you're going to have? Yeah, we'll talk about what kind of milk you're going to have. A iced coffee or?
Oh, I've got another spicy cola fueling me up at the moment, so I might have another spicy cola right after this, I think.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Well done, mate. Great drive. And really, that opening stint between yourself and Joe Baldwin and Carl Watmore, that was epic stuff as well. We saw you move to the inside and let the boys through. What was the tactical thinking behind that, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, just to save a bit of fuel. Carl was tight. When Carl was tight on me there, you were sort of pushing me along quite nicely. We were flying actually out the front there, getting a bit of a push. We're all working together, which worked really, really well. It's a shame that they got caught up in a bit of lap traffic there, and I seen the parting seas and managed to squiggle my way through there. But I think his tyres were starting to go off towards the end. He was dropping back on the exits, the corners, and wasn't really pushing me along as much. So I was just burning too much fuel. So I thought, stuff, I'll let you guys through, and I'll save for a bit myself, and it worked quite well. So I ended up actually finishing with about 6 litres left. So I think I thought a couple of guys like Cohen and that might have been a bit tight on fuel, but I was bang on, so it worked out quite well. To be fair, one of the things I noticed during the call, and I don't know if Nico noticed it as well, and we won't hear from him for a couple of minutes, he's out of the chat room just now, but we noticed that there wasn't as many positional changes, lead changes, overtaking manoeuvres executed as what you'd normally see if it was the real thing, if it was the 500 on the last Sunday of, the last Monday of May in our case, here in Australia. But was that purely from a just wait and see standpoint from where you were sitting, mate, or were you trying your heart out to try and get back in front? What was there any tactical reason for the fact that we saw a lot of follow the leader rather than jockeying? For me, out in front, I was just racing my race. I was just racing my lines, and just keeping an eye on my mirrors in case one of them wanted to have a dive. But when I was behind there at the end with Cohen, I was just following him until about the last 8 laps, and he got a bit jerked up from a bit of lap traffic, so I got a bit side by side, and had a few attempts there side by side, just to put a bit of pressure on to see if I can force a mistake. And lo and behold, he accidentally had a bit of a slide there through T1, and the rest is history. T2, sorry.
And yeah, exactly. And in a G-rated one-word response, summarise the chat room discussion between the races for me.
I was with the skid control boys. They were pretty quiet, so I think they were concentrating fully hard there in the midfield. So, but no, it was good. It was good to have a chat with the boys, and yeah, it was a good race.
You're not often
jump in just quickly
on
the towing capabilities of the car. They're not that good, and we've trimmed it out to a point where it's actually good balance between the straights and the corners.
If
we left it as the iracing stock setup, it would have been good to tow up to people because it would have had heaps of drag down the straights.
Yeah.
So I was finding that balance, and obviously in the real cars they trim them right out, so they're really good down the straights and custard in the corners. So we were right in the balance. We were right in the middle of all that.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that, Nick, because we weren't exactly 100% sure. We were expecting to see a little bit more overtaking as a result of slipstreaming, but if it wasn't that strong as you're saying, then that answers that. No,
I wanted to run more wing, but
yeah,
I would have wanted to run a little bit less wing because the track gripped up about halfway through the race, and
the track cooled down as well, didn't it?
Yeah, I was able to do laps like 3 or 4 tenths faster than my quali lap on my own without a push. So. The track really gripped up halfway through there, so it was pretty much. It wasn't quite flat out there at the start. It had to be a little bit tiptoey, but definitely towards the end you could run it flat bickies if you wanted to chew out your front tyres. But I was being nice and kind and doing the lift and getting the run out type method, slow in, fast out, seemed to work. So saved my tyres. My tyres were good towards the end. I didn't have any issues with tyres at all, even following. So I think it's what helped me out a lot.
How much fuel saving did you have to do in the last stint there, mate? Because we were talking about the pit window being 30 to 35. The caution was waived with 33. Were you okay?
Yeah, I had plenty left in the tank. Like I said, I could do another 3 laps, easy.
Yeah, righto.
So I made sure I had plenty of fuel in the car because I've been burnt so many times before.
True.
But because my numbers, because I was out in the lead for most of the race, my lap numbers were easy to calculate on my own. So if I just stuck to those, I knew I had a bit of a buffer if I was sitting behind someone.
Now, you'll be delighted with this, mate. We pointed it out in the broadcast. It was my favourite stat of the night. Your qualifying time at 40.508 was an average speed of, for cricket lovers, 222.222 miles per hour.
Oh, 2 for 22 at 2. That's excellent.
Yes. Yep. No, that was my highlight of the night as well.
Mate, coming in hard and forced.
You certainly were, and you were hard and fast right throughout the course of the race, mate. A tough, hard race, and you were fast right throughout, consistent right to the very end, and you reaped the reward of converting pole into a race win, which is hard to do at the Brickyard at the best of times, but in amongst all the carnage that was happening in and around you. In fact, did you get involved in any of that at any point? Did you have to do some aversion driving or evasive driving, I should say, at any point during that race because of accidents happening in front of you?
Definitely. There was a few moments there with the heart rate hit the rev limiter a couple of times. A couple of guys were twirling off the top of the line, and there was one guy twirling at the top and another guy rolling down the hill. I'm like, oh, geez, what's going to go here? I managed to pick the parting sea and slither between them without getting any incidents and stuff. And I think that's the one that caught Callie and Joe out, unfortunately, with those guys coming down the road in their own little accident. But I managed to sneak through. Very, very lucky. Very fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. You speak of Joe. Joe's in the chat room, actually. The 09, 23rd, 37 laps down. What happened, Joe? Talk to us about your night, mate.
Oh, what a disaster. No, the lap car, I think he got spooked with the guy on the outside of him there coming onto the main straight. He lifted and it just caught me out, after that first round of pit stops, I buggered myself up slapping the wall. I think it was between 3 and 4 and damaged the car. And I think once I got through, I had a really good run, I think I drove back up, I think it was 3rd or 4th, I think, when we got to those lap cars, and I should have been more patient. It was it wasn't even quite the middle of the race. If I had held back, we probably all would have got through. Yeah.
Well, not to be, mate. How'd you find because obviously we do a lot of normal circuit racing, be it street circuits or road circuits. How did you find the challenge of the oval tonight? Because there were a lot of newbies to the oval racing way of life.
There's nowhere quite like Indy. If you can get this place right, it's fun. It's really fun. And people think it's simple, turning left. It's not. And to be on pace actually surprised me a little bit. I haven't done a lot of racing here. But just nice, gentle inputs, and a little bit more patience. And who knows, I might have been right up there. And congratulations to Trent. He drove an awesome race. Very, very clever.
Yeah, we just saw your incident now, actually. That was also, we didn't realise it was you involved at the time, but it was. We also had Callum Watmore coming out of that a little bit worse for wear. In fact, there he's on your screen now, folks, just skidding down the main straight towards the pit area. Unlucky for Joe and Cal, but again, a lot of people with a lot of scars and a lot of stories to tell tonight. Thank God you're not paying the damage bill on this one, Joe?
Definitely not. The problem was it caught out a couple of the guys in the chat we were talking to. There was a fast repair glitch. So I came in here. We see him coming into the pits now.
Yep.
Fast repair, but the left rear was still broken on the car. So I tried to do a lap around. I got a wave around because I went a lap down.
Yep.
And I nearly crashed into people while they were driving around. It didn't fix it properly. Went back into the pits. It still didn't fix it. So it's just one of those things, Nothing's perfect, but hey, I shouldn't have been in that position,
No, well, that's true, but it is what it is, unfortunately, mate. But you've got to be happy with the outright pace there, as we say. You were down, well down the order in the end, but I mean, second on the grid, so you had the pace to go all the way. If luck was on your side, not on this occasion, mate, but maybe next time.
Hopefully next time, yeah. But hey, look, great setup with the cars. It was, the guys done a stellar job. To make a car that was racy around the Brickyard, like they were saying, with the draft and stuff, it can be quite easy in a car that's got low downforce to pass. But, this was you had to work even to make the pass when there was a pack of cars. It was everyone was sort of up on speed. It was it was made for a really good race, and so congratulations to the guys that did the setups. It made for a really good race for everybody.
It certainly did. We'll come back to you later on if we get a chance, mate. Let's go and have a chat to Kester Ward, because that is the drive of the night. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, Trent winning the race from pole position's an achievement, but to go from 40th to 3rd and not get a skerrick of damage along the way, Kester Ward, champion effort, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I wouldn't say I didn't get a skerrick of damage. I got pretty battered there in the first part and actually just drove the damaged car around until the caution so I could get a lap back under caution. And apart from that, it was just keeping it clean, which in theory was a lot easier than what it actually was in the race. I'll be honest there.
I was gonna say we were surprised that. Well, I'll be perfectly honest. I didn't see every single incident that happened throughout the course of the night. You can't keep up with the amount of carnage that was out there. I'm not surprised to learn that you did have a little bit of damage along the way, but we were surprised that you were able to get through as relatively cleanly as you did, because it was happening left, right, and centre. How hard was it to dodge and dive and duck and weave your way around as you went through?
It actually got easier as I got towards the front because the guys seemed to be a little bit more predictable. And actually, I think it was Peter at the end. I'm not too sure whoever came fourth, but the last 10 laps with him was just intense. We were side by side half the time, and he'd get me, I'd get him back, and it was just epic fun. And we left each other room, and I'm surprised neither of us got into each other actually, but it was a lot easier at the end, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, indeed. Stay there, mate. We'll come back to you. Adam Lavis is in the chat window as well. And there were 6 cars, I should say, finished this race on the lead lap. They were within 14 seconds. Everyone else was 4 laps down. Adam Lavis was the first of those to cross the line in P7. So the skid control boys have done very well tonight, mate.
Oh, yeah. I would have been even better if I didn't get caught up in someone else's accident. Always the way.
Talk us through. We actually saw the incident. We saw you catapulting and cartwheeling down the main straight. Talk to us about what happened.
Oh, I was feeling good. I got I think it was the second safety car. We had 2 guys in front who were running along, hadn't pitted yet, and then there was Trent and a couple other guys. And I think I was 6 on track, which probably roughly 4th over like relative because I'd already pitted.
Yep.
I thought, I'm good here. And then so the guy in front of me checked up, so I had to back off, and then the guys got past me because of the whole no passing by safety line thing. And then, the guy in front, he was 2 cars in front. He lost it in the last corner, and he got the drift on because he clipped the inside curb, and he started to go towards the inside. So I was like, he's not going to snap, so I'm good. So I went to the outside, then he snapped. I was like, I'm dead now. And then by the time I stopped rolling, I think I was close to the finish line, so...
Yeah, and obviously that meant you go in for a fast repair. Did you run out of fast repairs as the night went on or not?
No, that was the only one I used. That was
the only one?
That was the only one I had to use. And that put me 2 laps down. And then, the Lucky Dog thing got me with a penalty, and that put me 4 laps down. So from there, I had to fight my way back and became the first person on the last. And then, I think it was, Julian was the next person I had to beat. He was in front of me on track, so I passed him, so that felt good.
Yeah. I was going to say, that was an incredible, just how quickly you all went from being 1 lap to 2 laps to 3 laps to then 4 laps down. We're all a little bit surprised by that. But long green runs will do that at a place like Indianapolis, won't it?
It can do, especially when you get a couple of pit lane penalties and pit under green for repairs. It's always going to slow you up, and the other guys are only doing 30-second laps. So.
Indeed, mate. So well done. Teams can celebrate a very good result tonight. 3 of you in the top 7. Good stuff. Let's throw this around a little bit. Jono's in the chat room. Jono Hill. He finished down in 9th position after starting 7th. So not much of a loss in all of that. And would you be slightly disappointed with the fact that there was a solo qualifying compared to the all-in practice session, which you topped on the timesheets there, Jono?
I don't mind the 2-lap solo. It was what I do mind is I got a 0x, which invalidated the faster lap that I got in the second time round, and the old 0x is very frustrating at Indy because it's going to slow you down.
For those of us that are new to iRacing, both commentator and audience, tell us what the X is.
Sorry, yeah. So very minor contact gives you a 0x instead of a 1x penalty point. So, but it still invalidates the lap. So you've got to be careful with those. And I caught one on the second. Still happy with my starting place.
Yeah, indeed. And tell us about the race from your standpoint, mate. Obviously, we know the story. You ended up 4 laps down, incidents and all that playing a role along the way. Tell us about the night, the 100 laps that was.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, the car felt good. The setup was nice. I was pretty comfortable in the car. But what happened? I ended up I passed down the inside on the restart because there were some guys going slow and I didn't have any room up top. And in the heat of the moment, I then suddenly realised that I'm not allowed to do that. And that was the first of many black flags I gave myself. So there was a bit of confusion with race control and a bit more confusion with me driving the car. So to end up P9, I was actually pretty happy being 5 laps down.
Indeed. Now, as far as the rest of it's concerned, you've got a bit more iRacing to turn your attention to now. Obviously, the production cars and also the stock cars, and more importantly, more prominently, the GT series in Road America. You're looking forward to all of that?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to just getting some good racing in. All settled into a new place now, and can kind of focus on the things that I like doing, this is one of them. So. Bathurst for the stock cars is my main focus this week. I think we'll be for a lot.
Yeah, I'm expecting a huge field for when we get to Mount Panorama on Friday night. Both production cars and stock cars. I reckon there'll be some double duty happening there. Well done tonight, mate. As we say, 9th place in all of that. Chris Kisby was down in 16th spot. He's also in the chat room. And I think that'll be then everyone covered, actually, if I'm honest, apart from our good mate Nick, who we've got to get to last but not least. Chris, tell us about the night from your standpoint, mate. You actually finished just ahead of Nick there, 16th and 17th.
Yeah, mate. That was an epic race, my first time, and started 35th, somewhere around there, and got up to 15th and down to 16th. 2 incidences, one not mine, one all my own, but no, I was real happy with it.
And so you should be. Actually, you mentioned big movers through the field. You were one of them. We mentioned Castor Ward from 40th to 3rd, Pete Davison from 33rd to 4th, Julian Mucky from 22nd to 6th. Some not so big moves in there. Brendan Jones from 20th to 8th. Just looking down through the order. Jamie Kingscott from 34th to 12th. Then, of course, yourself from 35th to 16th. 32nd to 15th for Matthew George. And then 39th to 18th for Paul Gerland. So there were some big movers right throughout that field. Also some big losers in the opposite direction as well. But tell us about adapting to oval racing, running the IndyCar, and of course the famous Brickyard. Always a favourite combination. But a lot of drivers adapting to the challenges of oval racing. It isn't as simple as it looks.
Oh, that's definitely right, mate. I didn't think I'd enjoy it because it'd be, but I got into it with the NASCAR, and I'm enjoying doing it as I'm learning. But it's trying to thread your way through and trying to work out how to pass and things like that is just phenomenal. I was, unlike the tin tops, I was so close to, as you can see, the field. There was only 2 seconds between the whole field, and it really gives you gutters. I mean, I finished above a few of the good guys, the top drivers. So I'm really stoked.
I was going to say there were some hard luck stories looking down through the field. I mean, fair dinkum, where do you start? Cal Watmore in 27th. That's one that comes to mind. Joe Baldwin, we've already chatted to, in 23rd. Michael Porter in 31st. Jared Daly, 33rd.
Don't say my name, Zach. Please don't say my name.
Pete Dunham, 37th. I wasn't going to, Nico. That's
what was
right.
that?
I thought
Nico?
about it. But...
I beat Paul, Nico, and Nico.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Fantastic. Chris, what's next for you? Where's your attention of iRacing turn now, mate?
GT's Monday night. And my main focus is the up-and-comers. But I like to get into the GTs and make it a little bit harder for the guys up top there to win the race. Yeah. But productions maybe on
Looking forward to that immensely. Thanks for having a chat to us, mate. Not as big a post-race show as per usual, but I'm going to come back to Trent Lavis in just a moment. Firstly, though, let's go to Nick and check in there because we were just talking about your night, mate. Clearly not the happiest of birthday you would have wanted, down in 17th and 8 laps down, but it was a difficult night at the office for so many.
Look, it was difficult for everybody, but once we actually got going from, I think, about lap 45 onwards or something, everybody got into a good rhythm, and there wasn't as much, well, from my perspective on the circuit, there wasn't as much spinning out, crashing, or anything like that. And then we're all counting in our Discord. We're all counting down to the last 10 laps because we knew there was going to be no safety cars, and it actually worked out really well.
Yeah, it did in the end, and it could have worked out a little bit better if Coronado didn't have his moment there 10 laps from home. It was shaping up to be a three-way fight at the front, but if you want to go back and have a look at the highlights, folks, we're earplugs. I apologise in advance. We got a little bit excited here.
Fantastic call, Zach, as always.
Thank you. I try hard. There's no doubt about that. But as I said during the call, and I'm one of those people that I've been converted to the sim racing world over the last 2 months with thanks to you guys. Of course, this is the 10th night that we've gone racing in the month of May alone. It's been a very busy month for us. And I've been won over because once you get into the groove and you've got the noise and everything, and that's one of the great things that iRacing does, that gives you the ambience. You've got the crowd there, you've got the sound effects of the cars and everything else. And then once the racing becomes intense like that, you start to go up with it. So as I said during the call, get up out of your seats, Australia, because this is as good as, if not better than, the real thing, and it certainly was delivering there. You had a three-way battle for first, a three-way battle for fourth. It ended up being two-way battles for first and third, but no, it was fantastic stuff. Trent, I'll come back to you. I'm going to come back to Nick in a moment. Oval racing, we're obviously a fan of it. We've got a win under our belt. Would you like to see more of it? Would you participate in more of it in the sim racing environment?
I'll just drive anything, mate. You know me. If any opportunity I've got, I'll jump in anything. Same with cars as well, like real cars. So, I loved it. It was a lot of fun tonight. It's something a bit different to what we've been doing with the GT cars and stock cars. So, massive thank you to Nick and Paul and the rest of the gentlemen for putting all this on. And also the sponsor of the event. I've actually forgot who they are.
Motorfocus, of course, yeah.
Motorfocus. Thanks to those guys as well for sponsoring it, getting it all sorted. And, yeah, what a lot of fun.
And I have to say, our finish for our 100 lap race was a little bit cleaner than the 70 lap that the IndyCar themselves put on about 3 or 4 weeks ago with Scott McLaughlin doing the Stephen Bradbury. So well done to everyone. I say that just as you see Trent coming in for a pit stop there earlier in the race and 3 cars going up.
4 cars in the air.
4 cars in the air at all angles, but we were cleaner at the end. So that's the main thing, as Nick said. It's interesting to get that feedback from you, Trent. And I wonder, Kester, what are your thoughts? And even Chris and Adam, are we all for more oval racing going forward if there was a series put on?
I'm the same as Trent. I'll jump in just about anything. Anything's fun, and anything that's a bit left field of what you usually do teaches you a bit, and we're all here to have fun, and we're all competitive. But anything's good by me.
Yep.
Ditto for me, mate.
There we go.
Anything to make it harder for the front runner.
More ideas going forward, because obviously we've got the stock car series, but we haven't seen any IndyCar series yet set up, so that might be something going forward, because obviously once the GT and the Prod series is behind us and the stock cars as well, we're back in sync with the rest of the iRacing calendar, so that will give the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club some ideas. There's no doubt about that. Nick, I think everyone was a fan of the concept tonight. There will be a few people not so much a fan of how they fared in the finishing order, and there'll be a few people with a little bit of a bruised ego when they wake up tomorrow morning. But most, for the most part, a very fun night, and very much embraced for the fun concept of it rather than the serious side of it by all the boys we've just spoken to.
Yeah, exactly the point of the whole event. Open to all our members, and to promote a bit of fun. In my case, a bit of learning. Some bits and pieces I was reminded just before about at a club I used to be at, and how things ran there, and things we should use to help move this club forward. So learning all the time. I did make a few mistakes admin wise there on track, but that's all right. We'll put it under the hat and do a better job next time.
For sure. Paul, what were your thoughts? I mean, obviously the race didn't go to plan, mate. You were gone by about the 4% mark or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was lap 2, Zach. So
yeah,
but I'm certainly not I'm not a connoisseur of the turn right. No, turn left. Sorry, I'm better at turning right and left at the same time. Yeah, great. Actually, Nico, awesome event. Don't think this was the broadcast was fantastic. Go and watch the replay. An awesome event, awesome commentary. Yeah, certainly. I really enjoyed just sitting back and watching it. So fantastic job by Rob and Zach. Well done.
Thank you, mate. And obviously, driver of the day. I think it has to go to Kester. I think on this occasion to go from 40th to 3rd.
What's his name? Who's that? Kester who?
Kester Ward. Does anyone want to oppose that at the moment?
No, not at all. Awesome job.
Yeah, what was that name? Chris Kisby?
Yeah.
Well done, Chris. Good job, man.
I think, and Pete Davidson as well. Let's not forget he went from 33rd to 4th as well. So they were the two big movers.
Also, shout out Pete Matson as well. Good job, Pete. I think he finished.
Yeah.
Where did he finish? It was 5th. Yeah, great job, Pete.
From 9th on the grid, and but at the end of the day, qualifying doesn't always present a true form guide for Indianapolis, but it did on this occasion. Trent Laves win, and that's what matters most there in all of that. So, Nick, the next question I've got for you is, because we've done a Sunday night motorsport edition of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club at Doadrift Esports, and it's a special one-off event. When's the next special one-off event coming, mate? Is there going to be more of this before we get out of isolation and back into the real-world stuff, or not?
Well, I've actually planned for a one towards the end of June. So we'll see what happens. Just once a month. I mean, it's good if we've got most of the time we got Sundays free, so we can all do our family thing. It's ideally once a month, so that way people can plan for it ahead of time, have a bit of fun. Yep. We'll be going to the Circuit de la Sarthe.
Ooh, nice.
And once again, it'll be the same car, stock, same setup. So purchasing wise, that kind of thing, it'll be all nice and easy. I think it's a free car. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, we'll see how we go.
Just quickly on that too, because there was a little bit of confusion, mostly from my part, because obviously you get a mix of Hondas and Chevys in the IndyCar, but we had just one stock standard car tonight, didn't we?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just easier for the system.
Was it a Honda or a Chevy? We know it was a Dallara, but was it a Honda or a Chevy?
They have unbranded it. It was a Honda, but they've iRacing have unbranded it now.
It's a Shonda.
Shonda, yes. Come on, iRacing. You can't get us a 3x3 start and you're unbranding cars. What are you doing to me? All right. No, that was good fun, gentlemen. Really good stuff. And thanks to Robert Hazelrun for putting the broadcast together, courtesy of the team from Doadrift Esports. And, of course, we do it all again tomorrow night, folks. We're going to wrap this up a little bit earlier than usual. We're all busy people in the next 24 hours as we prepare, I should say, to reconvene here tomorrow night. What is it? 7:20 practice, so 8:20 on air for quali tomorrow night.
Yep.
Road America awaits the GT3, GT4 series, of course. Mel Porter Designs, the sponsor of that. Thanks to Motorfocus, the 100 lap at 250 mile tonight, presented to us by them. And a huge thanks to all the participants for taking part. Of course, as we say, some names there that we're not all familiar with, but certainly not unfamiliar to the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, but maybe unfamiliar to the Doadrift Esports audience because of what you see on a Monday and a Friday night. But names to no doubt keep an eye out on as we go forward. Of course, who was it there I wanted to highlight earlier? Jake Ward, 5th in qualifying, but only 21st in the race. A good pace from him there. So to Chris and Jono and Kester, thank you all very much for being in the chat room with us, boys. Thank you. And well done again. We look forward to tomorrow night. Hopefully Trent Lavis will put in a solid performance there when we get to Road America. He was good last week against Zane Hills and Jeff Connell and the like, and everyone's trying to double up because we've had 4 different winners so far in the Mel Porter Designs GT Series. That's the next stop, Gentleman Sim Racing Club, Doadrift Esports. Of course, thanks to Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hooker Gander, and Motorfocus for their support tonight. We look forward to doing it all again tomorrow. Quickly through the final results one more time. I didn't run through the whole field earlier in the broadcast, so I'll do that just now so that we can spread this out for a few more minutes here. Trent Lavis, the victor by 1.3 seconds. It was a lot closer than that until about a lap and a half from home. As we say, Gary Cousins getting unstuck there in turn 3. Lucky not to put it in the wall, gathered it up, but lost all the momentum he had, and Trent was able to clean up and take the win. Kester Ward third on the line over Pete Davis, and Pete Madsen fifth. Julie Markey sixth, then Adam Lavis, the first of those, 4 laps down. Yes, no one was 1 lap down, 2 laps down, or 3 laps down. They were all 4 or more. Brendan Jones in for 8th, John O'Hill 9th, and Jonathan Turner 10th. Dennis Hancock outside behind him, Jamie King, Scott Cohen, Haddard come back to finish 13th, 7 laps down, what might have been for him. Ryan Huckle in for 14th, and Matthew George 15th. Behind them, Chris Kisby, Nico Pop, of course, Paul Gerlin, and then Ross Conlon. That takes us down to 19th. Paul Jansen rounded out the top 20. 21st, Jake Ward, Brett Selby Wood was 22nd, Joe Baldwin 23rd, Brett Cooper and Grant Gill made up the top 25. Josh Thomas, Cal Watmore, Wayne Losh, Jason Lee and Brady McHugh, the top 30. There's a name that we didn't expect to see that far down. Michael Porter, 31st, Andre Courts, we heard from him during the broadcast, 32nd. Jared Daly, 33rd, Trevor Stott and Daniel Ford took us back to 35th. The 521 of Dave T was 36th, then Pete Dunham, Matt West, Nat Nascord, and Paul Nichols. With Josh Millard, the non-starter there, of course, tech failure got in the way of him joining us before qualifying. So, in all of that, it was a night where if you could avoid incidents, you were lucky. There were just about every single driver in the field come across an accident at some point that they had to avoid, and some were unlucky when you take into consideration there Brady McHugh and Carl Watmore, guys that should have, could have, might have been right at the pointy end. But in the end, it was Trent Lavis getting the job done. Force of habit, it still happens occasionally. But he got the job done, hit it by 1.3 seconds. An Aussie on top of the Brickyard yet again. We like the sound of that. 250 miles on a Sunday night in May. It's been good fun. We hope you've enjoyed it wherever you've been watching us right around the world. We wish you all the best for the next 24 hours. We look forward to reconvening here tomorrow night around 20 past 8 for our broadcast of the Melbourne Designs GT Series Road America. That will be an absolute rip snorter if Daytona last week is any guide. So join us for that. And then, of course, the production car and stock car doubleheader on Friday night. Mount Panorama Bathurst, the hallowed turf, the holy grail, the sacred land of Mount Panorama, the best 6.213 kilometres of motor racing real estate anywhere in the land. It awaits us for a doubleheader on Friday night. We'll see you then. Until then, on behalf of the crew here, we'll hand you back to Rob to wrap things up. I'm Zach Caban. Have a great night and a great first day back at work for the 1st of June, the first day of winter, everybody, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night. Bye for now.
Reaching out. Rainbow Road.
And no moment in history where I could stand and say, I was